Okay, the debate didn't accomplish anything, but something that seemed obvious that is even more important is everyone seemed to have fun. Well, good. I'm glad everyone had fun, and that is the most important of things. So here we go. We should be live on my end, and yeah, this is kind of awkward just talking to the void here. Usually I have guests, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Eventually, Sunday will get back from whatever he is doing. His quest will be accomplished, and we'll get the stream up and running, and we will watch it together. Good day, my lord. Good day, rude mud crab. Hello, Dad. I don't have kids that I'm aware of, but if you happen to be my long-lost son or daughter, I'm sorry for my lengthy absence. Hello. Oh, Jesus, indeed. Well, no, not Jesus. Sorry. I know it's Easter, but that is not me. I am not the second coming. I apologize. Okay, hello. I don't know if he can hear us yet. Oh, there he is. It is what it is. Well, we're here now, and hopefully we can get this show on the road. I was just explaining to them, to your audience and mine, that we're going to be reviewing um, the MrGirl versus Smeth debate on feminism. So that should be a beautiful thing. That's what I've been told. That's the title of it, and we'll see how it goes, right? Wickworthy. Okay, well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're gonna find out together. Noted. Okay, well, I'm ready when you're ready. Hopefully I can hear it. Okay. I can. Okay. Sure. Yes, I can hear. And they're taking a restroom break right off the bat. Great. It's fine. Hold on, can you pause a moment? I'm having a little bit of audio trouble on my end. Okay. Uh, can you say a few things? I want to make sure my audience can hear you. Can you guys not hear that? I hear him fine. Is Discord or is YouTube? So none of you can hear him. This is a problem. Okay. You know what? This might have been an easy solution. I had the desktop audio muted. Try again.
Hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Can you hear him now? Okay, I'm getting a yes from Twitch. What about YouTube? Can you guys hear him? Yes, okay. Beautiful. I'm glad it was something simple.
By the way, that means they didn't hear any of the video either.
Nothing has happened so far. Okay, so it's fine, right?
They are also having technical difficulties for the perplexed.
Well,
shall we?
We shall continue, please. Thank you.
Is that the right one? Capture device 2. All right, I'm ready.
All right, I can see your MrGirl hotline thing. Okay, there you go. Okay.
Now you're ready.
This.
Go.
Oh, that one's working. Nice. All right.
We're gonna talk about moderation first, real quick.
Yes.
First, let's introduce a topic real quick, just to fucking get the fucking viewers or whatever wet.
You can do it, Smeth, since you didn't even properly represent him the first time.
Okay, well, I'll do it. Okay, he'll have to coach me through it again. But he said a while back, a couple weeks ago on Twitter, that male feminists must advocate against their own interests to be a feminist. How do you feel about that, Mr.?
Male feminists must act against their own interests. That's what I said. Yeah.
What does that
And you
sound?
disagree.
There's also one other
Is
thing
there
that he said that pissed me off.
Is that the video or is that you?
But I'm gonna have to.
Can you pause it a moment?
That's the video.
What is it? It's like the in the movies where the bad guy is about to show up, right? And you have that kind of ominous background music coming up. That's what it sounds like to me.
It's like the well of lost souls is behind that window in that necromantically lit room that Smeth's in.
Because I don't have it on hand, but you can probably just tell me your opinion.
I'm playing Resident Evil. I thought it was
also
from
made another
that.
tweet that same day where you said that you can't call yourself a feminist. You have to rely on women to tell you if you're a feminist or not.
Yeah, I said men should not determine for themselves whether they're feminists. A woman can tell you you're a feminist, but a man
Is this going to be throughout the whole video?
kind of for a
God, I hope so.
related reason to the first one I said, where a woman can be selfish and be a feminist, but a man can't. So you can't really declare for yourself that you're not selfish. It's like saying you're a white ally.
So I guess
I'll tell you if you're a white ally. I'll let you know.
Piggybacks
You'll
on
tell
the
them?
first
Yeah.
first one.
Okay, let's discuss moderation first. So I actually know what I'm doing.
I'm wet.
Okay. What do you guys need from me? What do you guys want from me?
I would like you to stop Smith from making sexual.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay.
Like I'm wet. We're talking about getting the viewers wet or anything sexual. I don't want to be in a sexual conversation, and I don't want to be sitting idly by while a sexual conversation like sucks me in. Or
Guys, Resident Evil is mute. That's their stream you're hearing.
I'm saying I don't. I would like you to stop Smith from doing that.
Okay, then I'll have to stop myself from doing that too.
Do you
but that's
want
good.
me? Do you want me to stop myself, or do you want her to stop me?
Was this added?
I want.
Was this added
This is-
post, or was this something that Smith had and it just picked it up and he didn't bother to fix
Well, this
it?
is this is the link I sent you over DMs. So
Okay.
this is the one that was live, and this is on Smeth's side. So this is an editorial decision, presumably by Smeth, unless I guess maybe they have a virtual camera on and their audio's feeding through. I don't know, but it's.
Okay, my audience is saying it goes away in a few minutes, and hopefully, like, I can't follow them.
Yeah, so to my chat, I see a bunch of people complaining about the Resident Evil music. Guys, I have Resident Evil muted. You can't hear Resident Evil. I can't hear Resident Evil. This is the video we're watching.
I want you to stop yourself.
Okay, then I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, Smeth, what do you need from me?
Yeah.
Smeth is my orbiter, so because
I asked
I can't.
Smeth.
I know, but I can't write this big thing up, this big report about like orbiter.
I need you to protect
abuse.
me from this
How-
guy who, like, you ask me a question, he just fucking interrupts because he's a fucking king of the castle. I need you
Okay.
to protect me from his big
problem.
ego.
So Max, let's talk about the DM I shot you. Okay,
Fuck you.
is that what you wanted to talk on stream about it? Okay.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, let's talk
I-
about the DM. Yeah, let's talk about moderation on stream, and then the moderator sends me this. Can I read it aloud?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Hey Max, writing you privately so you wouldn't feel like I'm calling you out on stream. Okay, already fuck you. Obs, I've seen you debate before. No, you haven't. You think you have, but you're gonna realize that actually you haven't. I'm asking a genuine question, and I'd like a genuine
We're
answer.
unleashing the dragon
God.
tonight.
Oh my God! I'll tell you if you're a white ally. I'll tell you if you're a advocate for men's rights. I'll tell you if you're a male feminist,
Max,
and I will
we
tell
can-
you. I will let you know. No, let me finish. I will let you know if you're asking a genuine question and if you're looking for a genuine answer. You can't identify as that. You can't
Max.
identify as that.
Max,
I'm.
we can do the meta conversation about moderation. Finish reading what I say. You tell me how you feel about it, and then you guys can divide
I'm literally.
feminism.
You're interrupting me, telling you how I feel
Max
about
really
it.
doesn't
while I'm
like
doing it.
social
Yes,
norms.
Yes.
Just let me finish, and then you'll know how I feel about it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Am I mincing my
fine.
words? Am I not?
She
being
was
clear
saying
enough?
what
This is
you were.
actually too loud. I'm going to turn this down a tiny bit. What did you say, Wick?
That Max really doesn't like social norms. He really doesn't like it when you say, well, I'm being genuine here. And this is just, maybe it's me. Maybe it's just something that I've always done or people around me have always done where we just say, hey, I don't mean to bother you, but, right? And none of us stop each other and say, well, I will tell you if you're bothering me or not. No, we preface and couch our language in order to make the conversational partner feel comfortable or at ease, or to actually signal like our intent. Is that not normal? Is it me or is it what's going on here?
I'm torn between answering, yeah, you're correct. You're obviously on point. And second, between just like very astute observation by Wick. MrGirl doesn't like social norms.
We're
Is that how I feel
saying.
about this? Oh, she was saying, yeah,
No,
she
no,
was
no.
saying.
This is a waste of time. Finish your thing.
Let me turn you up a tiny bit.
I'm worried that if I felt like I need to properly enforce moderation, if I find it necessary, you'd leave. I guess I'm asking if you accept me as someone you can trust to be fair as a moderator.
No, are you
Now,
insane?
My recent or now long-standing criticisms of people I talk
I mean,
to
I've had him as a moderator
on
before. I
stream
don't want to talk.
is not that they are knowingly being unfair. It's that they have some urge, unconscious desire to make some maneuver in the conversation, usually to cover their own ass, or to play to the audience instead of the person they're talking to. They play games, and I don't know that they always know they're playing them. I think most of the time they don't. So it's not really about trusting you to be like good
We're
faith.
not making it past this, are we?
It's more like, are you going to be open to the kinds of feedback? Like, I am asking a genuine question. Like, if you say that to me, I'm going to say, what? Oh, well, thanks for letting me know.
Okay.
Anyway, you said, I hope this doesn't muddy the waters. I'm trying to make the convo smooth and without issue. Now, if you knew me, you would know that if you were really trying to make the convo smooth, you wouldn't say this. You wouldn't say any of this. I don't even know what you're asking me.
I was very clear about what I'm asking you. Now, I'm not gonna have a meta conversation.
No, I don't accept. Wait,
Hey, stop it a moment.
Okay, what you're
I want
asking
to take
me
some
if
bets.
I accept you as someone I
Chat?
can trust.
And this is to both chats. If you haven't seen this yet, Katie just said we're not going to have a meta conversation about this. How do you think we're going to have a meta conversation about this? If you think we are, press 1. If you think we aren't, press 2. Do you think there's going to be a...
You can actually pull your audience.
Yeah, but I don't want to be fucked with that. They could just press 1.
All right, subscribe to President Sunday for the full experience.
I'm seeing a lot of ones. Okay, carry on. I was just curious what everyone thought was going to happen here. Katie's made an assertion. We're not going to have a meta conversation. Will they have a meta conversation? We'll find out. Go ahead.
I think the question is whether or not we're going to only have a meta conversation. I think that's all this is going to be.
Fair enough.
3 hours of the same shit.
To be
As a moderator,
month.
yeah. So to translate it to what you said,
it sounds like what you're really asking me is
Max,
will I agree to not leave no matter what you do?
That didn't take long.
No, that is not what I'm asking. Could I tell you what I'm asking?
No, because you already asked it.
If you read what I asked, it's not what you said I asked.
Can I?
So well, you're
can I say something? Can I say something?
Well, no, because you're
important.
equating me leaving with me not trusting you.
Can I say something important? I think it's important. Okay. I think that you and Katie have a lot in common, and I think what Katie is doing to you.
I have nothing in common with Katie.
Okay, I think that what she's doing to you right now is because she's traumatized by the very thing that you're accusing her of doing, and she's preempting it. She's a very direct communicator.
Oh, thank you for letting me know that.
Hey, Smith, darling, if you're in the chat.
I don't think she is, because I don't think she knows what she's communicating.
The music is a no-go.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because there's a I gotta turn my volume down. I'm peaking too much. There's a couple. I can already tell. I should turn it all the way down. There's a couple moving pieces here. One is Max going to leave, and the other is, does Max trust me? I feel like
Max,
your message tied. I feel like
we came to talk about feminism.
I feel like your message.
I'm asking you if you can in any way accept me as a moderator.
I know what you think you're asking me, but I disagree with you. I would like to lay out.
We are not here to have a meta conversation about you and me right now.
We agreed to have.
We can have a separate conversation about that.
We actually, all three of us, agreed to have a conversation about moderation, which is what we're doing right now.
Yes, I want to end it so we can get to the discussion.
I'm not ready to end it.
Okay.
I would like to continue.
Should I mute you until you want to talk about the topic?
If you want me to leave, you can mute me. But I'm not going to be muted when I'm not going to be muted for talking about the thing we agreed to talk about. The topic we agreed to talk about is moderation.
Has he ever left before one of these? I haven't watched a lot of his stuff.
I actually don't know.
Like, is that an empty threat, or is it something that he's actually followed through on? Because he says that a lot. I think every conversation I've seen him have, at one point he's like, if you do this, I will leave. But I don't think I've seen anyone do the thing he says. And I don't think I've seen him leave. But again, I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, so.
As a famous leaver of conversations, I do not understand what the logic would be of him leaving in this case, especially since nobody seems to actually really want to talk to him except for like a few small timers. Like he wanted, for example, with the article thing, he wanted people to be taking this thing seriously. He conjectured that this could be taken up at like the level of mainstream media. He thought your suggestion was silly, but he was speaking very early on in the whole project that he was talking to like actual journalists and whatnot. That he wanted like a whole like roster of like interviews and things, like a really detailed history of crime. If he leaves conversations like this, like who does he have left? Is my immediate wonder.
He did mention in the, I think, right after the Kidology interview, that he wasn't going to talk to small streamers about this anymore. That he was only going to talk if the person had a large audience. I'm talking Hassan level, XQC level, right? Audiences. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand how genuine he's being right now. or if this is just kind of like a performance. I'm not sure.
Well, the video's 3.5 hours long, so I guess we'll see how long this carries forward. We'll have proof.
I would like to finish what I was saying about the private DM you sent me about after agreeing to settle moderation on stream as a group. I would like to finish saying what I think about you privately DMing me before.
I don't understand what you're asking her right now. What are you asking?
I'm not asking anything. I'm asking both of you to let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's the same thing I'm usually asking in these streams. Will you
I'm
stop
ready.
talking over me
sorry.
and let me fucking finish what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. It seems to me by saying I think you might leave if I moderate you, and then asking, do you trust me to be a moderator? It sounds like you're saying if I left, that would mean it wouldn't possibly be because you did something against my boundaries or I had to leave for some reason. The only possible explanation could be that I didn't trust you enough. It seems like there's a premise that you are a good moderator and you are going to do a good job. Everything you say is trustworthy and genuine. And if I were to say, fuck you, I'm leaving, then that would mean I didn't trust you. So it seems like what you're really asking me is to agree to stay in this stream no matter what you do and give you the power to define yourself as trustworthy, honest, and good faith. And the answer is no.
He never speaks
Okay.
like that again. I'd be very
No.
happy.
If you don't trust me to do a good job moderating, why did you invite me to moderate this?
That's the $1 million question.
I invited
Because
you.
originally I had the answer to
Why
this
did you
actually.
agree to have me moderate?
If you want to pause it for a second.
Yeah.
If you
So
don't want me to moderate
Did you
So-
offer?
originally, Smeth reached out to me and MrGirl reached out to me and says, hey, April 6th, we're going to have a debate and we want you to moderate for us, right? Because I'd moderated the 𝕵𝖎𝖙 conversation, right? And MrGirl liked that. He thought I did a very good job in that. So that was the original plan. But then I interviewed him on the Destiny Report and it was not, so I lost the opportunity, if you will. So that's why they reached out to Katee, and that's why they wanted another interlocutor to kind of help them through their debate, because the one they had planned, MrGirl decided that he didn't want to have me anymore, and I can't lie, it does kind of hurt a little. I could have made a lot of money, right, doing this. But
This is true. Quick. How, in your judgment, I don't know if as an impartial moderator, you're at liberty to discuss this at this level. How did that? I haven't seen the 𝕵𝖎𝖙 and MrGirl debate. How did that go for him?
That was my first ever experience with Max. I don't think I did a good job, to be clear. He thought I did a good job. I do not think I did a good job. I had never had to deal with someone like him before, and it showed during the debate. I was not able to properly account for his style, and it came off as kind of a shit show. But it was an entertaining shit show, so is what it is. He looked really.
Here's the
go
here's
ahead.
Here's the irony of MrGirl's whole shtick here. Here's why it's a shit show. Okay, because of his very, very micro celebrity status. Or let's put it this way, because he's like dwindling off a little bit, but because he's a hot button that people will pay and subscribe to see coverage of, he can leverage his position vis-a-vis the much smaller host to like threaten to leave if they moderate in a way that's displeasing to him, and the moderator actually has like a material incentive to not moderate him. So ironically, he's doing exactly the thing he's accusing people like Destiny of doing, in order to insist upon his ongoing presence in a debate that he's not playing by the rules of.
It is a pattern I've noticed with him as I've explored his content more and more. He accuses people of doing a thing that he then turns around and does himself. It is a interesting tactic. I wonder how purposeful it is, or just if he's just kind of this natural hypocrite. I don't know. So
this is a debate tactic. You're assuming that the only people I would ever allow to moderate a stream would be people that I trust so much that I have 100% faith that they are being honest and clear about what they are doing.
Max, you're
let me finish my sentence.
Let me
finish my sentence.
Okay, let me see being a moderator right now.
Can I finish my sentence?
No.
I can't finish my sentence? Why?
No. Because I want to get to the topic.
This is the topic, Katie. We fucking agreed to talk about moderation.
This is no longer the topic.
Wait, okay, no,
this is about our own
I'm not done talking. I'm in mid-sentence. You can't end the topic while I'm mid.
Hold on, everybody. Okay, hold on. Wait, Katie.
This is the topic.
I think what he wants from you.
I'm in fucking mid-sentence.
I think what he wants from you.
No, I want the same thing I always want. Just shut the fuck up and let me finish what I'm saying.
Can you listen to what I'm saying?
Oh God, I don't want to listen anymore.
How far are we into this?
I want to finish my sentence. When I'm done with my sentence, then I want to listen.
I have never seen him this mad before. He's actually mad in this one.
Well, he's just had a week of getting shit on by everyone. Literally everyone he goes on tells him how bad of a job he did on the report. Everyone he talks to tells him, what are you doing? And he's just getting constant criticism, right? So I can understand why he's a little on edge, but yeah, fuck him. So yeah.
We'll take turns, like it's a fucking conversation. Why can't I finish what I'm saying?
I was just gonna try something.
I don't want you to try anything. I'm tired of it. People trying things.
I'm shutting your butt down. I just
want to be able to finish my sentence, even if it makes the moderator uncomfortable. No, moderation, step 1. Don't flinch. Don't end somebody talking because you don't like. It makes you feel uncomfortable what they're saying. Let me finish my sentence.
Hey, so actually, he had this. You know what Katie should have done at this point? Seriously,
muted him.
Mute him and then kick him, and she would look great for that. Max, Max's currency is dwindling right now. I think that would impress me, anyways. But I've got a very specific taste with this kind of thing.
Okay. I'll tell you when I'm uncomfortable. Thank you,
Katie. There is and it's going to take. It's going to take a long time now, or it's already taking too long. I agree with you. But the question you just asked me, if you don't 100% trust me to be a moderator to the point where you would go along with my definition of reality, even if
that's
it
not what I asked.
Let me finish my sentence, and then I would like to hear your refutation. Okay. Here's the question you just asked me. I think word for word. I'll do my best. If you don't trust me to be a moderator, then why would you allow me to moderate this conversation? Why would you agree to have me as the moderator? I think was your question.
Yes.
Okay. The problem is that what you defined as trusting you to be the moderator means me not leaving or not threatening to leave. My problem with that is it implies that I would have to trust you so much that even if I think you're doing something shitty, I wouldn't have boundaries with you, or wouldn't say like, oh, you're being such a shitty moderator that I have to leave. And then you said, well, then why would you have me have a moderator in the first place? Me agreeing
Good
to
on
be
you,
in a
Mr.
debate
Girl.
with
You
somebody
defend your boundaries.
where there is a moderator does not mean that I already trust the moderator more than I trust my own perception of what's happening.
Does he not understand the context why she asked this question? Does he legitimately not understand the context under which she asked him this question? She asked him this question because she had seen the other debates. She had seen the other moderators and how he responded very acidically and very combatively towards these other moderators. So she's asking him, hey, I'm just trying to make this clear that if you don't trust me enough to actually moderate this, you might want to pick someone else. That's pretty clear in the context of what he read and why he's asking. And I'm not sure if he simply doesn't understand this context or if he's trying to just mess with Katie. I don't know. Yeah.
Here's my take. Max is, if nothing else, an extremely competent showman. He's a very good actor. And one of the things I notice is that he will simultaneously play completely innocent and just like incapable of understanding like social cues and social mores and things of that sort. but he will leverage them in a weaponized fashion in different conversations. So in the Stardust conversation again, he knows what he's doing when he looks at the camera and says, "I feel like I'm raping you," when he's like talking to her. He knows what he's doing. And actually, this is the clearer case. In that video he did on consent, I don't know if I think I've probably mentioned this to you before, and I completely lost the memory of it. But he did a video on arguing that women should be more bold about expressing their non-consent to like sexual activity or whatever. It's a very creepy video. But in the middle of it, he's making a pizza throughout the entire thing. In the middle of it, he starts like kneading the dough, and it zooms in. He's got it at crotch level. He's like, and then he's looking at the camera like this, and he's like making. We know what he's evoking there. He knows what's going on. His shtick is to leverage your confusion about his superficial presentation of just total obliviousness to social cues in order to slip things that actually attack you by violating those social cues very deliberately under the radar. So you're uncomfortable and you're on the back foot, but you also think you're dealing with just like an innocent babe in the woods. And I think that's what really throws people off with him. He knows exactly what he's doing, which is why I have zero like pity for him at this point.
I'm giving less and less grace as the more I know him, the less and less grace I give him. I do try to give grace to people, but he's no,
by the same token, this also makes a lot of his self-avowals of abuse and whatnot a little bit suspect. I don't know if he's telling the truth. He says he raped somebody, for example. I don't know if that's true, if it's done for effect, because that's a shtick with everything. That's the problem with being dishonest, is you can't trust anything that comes out of his mouth anymore. It's just I just don't know. I'll take his word for it.
Fair enough. Let's carry on.
Like the person I would probably trust the most to moderate a debate with me is the person I probably trust the most to moderate a debate with me is probably 𝕬𝖓, honestly.
Of course.
But even 𝕬𝖓, I would definitely, if I thought she was like being underhanded, I would point it out. And if her response was to say, "No, I'm not underhanded, I'm honest," that wouldn't mean anything to me. So again, it just feels like your DM is asking me to stay in the conversation no matter what I think you're doing, and to let your own definition of yourself as being good faith override my perceptions of what you're doing. And the answer to that with anyone is no. It's not just you. I wouldn't agree to that with anyone. That doesn't make any sense.
Can I talk now?
No.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm sorry that you felt a lot of things about what I said. The reason why I worded things the way that I did was because if I wanted to insert any more of the stuff that you said that I was assuming and qualifying and making comparison or stuff, no, I'm talking now. I did not insert those things in there. When I asked if you can trust me as a moderator, all I meant is if I mute you, for example, because, for example, we're meant to talk about feminism, and now we're having a meta conversation about whether I'm good faith or not.
Which we agreed to have. Continue.
Yeah. Then, as a moderator, since it's my job to make this about the contention that you guys want to discuss, I would have to bring us back on topic. So it does not mean that you're not allowed to have qualms with my moderation. I never.
He has a very relaxing voice.
I asked if you're capable of seeing me moderating as anything but.
I was about to say, how much of Katee content have you consumed?
If I didn't communicate.
I think this is the first. Was she on that panel that I was on?
Was
that her?
No, that was Weppy. That was Weaponized Discourse.
No. There was somebody else though. No, the second one, the one with Destiny. Was she on that one?
Yes, she was with you. And
okay, so I know why you're laughing. I know why you're laughing, but here.
Okay, so
people do this with Max. They match his way of speaking.
Yes,
and it's legitimately effective.
Communicate that clearly enough. Can we move on?
Clear. The problem with the question is that it assumes you are good faith. and it assumes that if I
Look, Chet,
call
this is
you
an
bad
aesthetic
faith,
judgment,
that I'm
okay?
being
I'm
bad
entitled to my
faith.
opinion on this.
Calling it well, I think calling it capable implies that if I think you're bad faith, I am failing to rise to the occasion to allow myself to be moderated, which
That's-
seems like a
Max.
pretty,
Is it better
it
knowing?
seems pretty
That's
fair. Is it
loaded
better?
against me.
Okay, I
Okay.
need to moderate this discussion. Okay.
No,
I
I-
think
no, no, no,
well,
no,
you two
no, no,
are
no.
fighting. Okay, I need to moderate this discussion. Okay.
Smith.
Yeah.
Katie, you've stepped far outside of your role as moderator.
Well, we agreed to
Okay.
have a discussion about moderation. She cannot be a moderator for that conversation.
Why not?
She can't
The
be.
conversation could have been about whether you and I want to, how we want it to be
Max,
moderated.
Can you and I
Yeah, but you
talk
talked about
the
how
ways that I
she
made
deemed you.
feel? Can we talk about that another time and do the discussion we agreed to do?
No, because you're setting me up. You're basically saying, guys, if I mute Max and he thinks I'm not muting him for a good reason, for example, if I say this isn't the topic we agreed to talk about, and Max is saying, screaming, actually, this is the topic we agreed to talk about, Max is being bad faith. It's just because he has too big of an ego or is too sensitive or whatever. He just can't handle being moderated.
Okay,
You're setting
Max,
me up.
if I-
So no,
if
we
I-
can't just
if
not talk
I-
It's
about
not a
it.
setup,
Okay,
it's a statement
if
of
I
fact, my friend.
left, would you talk to Smith about what you agreed to talk to him about?
Yes, this is what we agreed to talk about. We agreed
Okay,
to talk
so,
about the moderation,
Smith-
and I'm sure if you left, that
I am
Smith and I would talk
very
about you
glad
as soon as you
that they
left. Yes.
decided to do this
I
on stream.
No,
promise.
that's not what
But
I
I'm-
said.
Think it was a mistake for them to do it on stream. I'm glad they did because it's funny. But yeah, if you're going to have a conversation like how we're going to run the show, do it off stream so that you can get things out of the way. When you come on to a debate, everyone should know what to expect, and everyone should know, or at least have a general idea of how things are going to go in the format. Hashing it out live on camera, entertainment, but not effective.
Well, in my first conversation with him, I actually had like a set agreement beforehand for what I would be allowed to say because I was, and my attitude towards these kinds of interactions has changed a little bit. But my attitude here was I don't want to be perceived as entertaining whatever the fuck he was doing at the time. So I said, okay, look, I'll talk to you, but as a deal, I get 5 minutes to ask whatever questions I want first. And I ended up taking the whole conversation. But I think I agree with you to a point. At the same time, it's like right now, I think Max, he's got tunnel vision, so he perceives that he can actually pick and choose who he talks to, and he's got a little bit of a celebrity status, a negative celebrity, but celebrity status. So like, you know, people have like an impetus to like be accommodating to him. I feel like at this juncture, if Katie had given him any conditions, he just would have refused. And I think, like, you know, small growing channel, like you need interactions like this. So I don't blame
enough.
her. Yeah.
You said, would we talk about what we agreed to talk about? And the moderation is the first topic we agreed to talk about. I don't understand. I don't know how to make this any more clear.
Like the only thing that's worth noting about any of this is just that once again, like all of the stuff that MrGirl was blaming on other people, he is indeed doing himself.
To you. This conversation is the conversation we agreed to have. Nothing bad is happening. We agreed to have a meta conversation about the moderation of the debate that we are going to have. That is the first topic.
Okay, Smith, you wanted to
Okay,
say
okay.
something.
I think that okay, look, you might not agree with me. I think that Katie's message that she sent you was very, like, had a lot of nervous energy, and I think that she is a direct communicator. No, let's just listen to what I fucking have to say, okay? I think she is a direct communicator, and I think she is capable of the type of communication and moderating you want. So I think that to move past this, we have to.
But
so
no,
you
wait,
felt.
no,
you felt.
that doesn't make any
you
sense.
felt,
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm not saying. Listen. I'm not.
It's already.
Like, hey, you're interrupting me, moderator.
Muda
I
Agarwal,
thought you
yes.
said you wanted to
Everyone
moderate.
should
Okay,
work
I don't
on their
fucking know.
debate style,
I
though.
don't
That's
fucking know.
that's kind of a meaningless yes, because yes,
I think yeah,
everyone
I'm
can
not
get
saying
better.
anything really specific.
I think
or,
she
or
does
hard
come
here.
off as
I'm
condescending.
just saying that I
But so do
You're
I
saying,
sometimes.
let's move on.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not just saying. I'm not just saying let's move on. I think to move on. To move on.
I'm not trying
in
to
order
move on.
in order to move on.
I'm moving on is not one of my goals.
No. Okay, yeah. If it's her goal, okay. So I'm talking to you, Katie. If you want to move on from this, You can't just hand wave him and say move on. I think you need to what his issue is that he feels like he's being painted in prematurely in a way where if he leaves or if you're pressuring him, you're gonna make him look bad because you're putting in a box.
You agree with me. You don't just think I feel that way. You think that it is true that is what
I think that what she said does that, but I also have trust.
Her behavior on the stream since then has done that?
A little bit, but
okay.
also
okay.
I just trust her more than you do.
I don't like being in situations where people are. It's not about trust. I'm watching her do it. It's not that I don't think she's doing it on purpose. You have to be.
That's not what I'm saying.
To do that. Okay. I'm not talking
what
about...
needs to happen for us to move on to
that's what I want to say.
I'm not talking about her feelings or intentions.
I know.
I'm saying the way she is behaving in the conversation.
What needs to happen for us to move on to the second
okay,
topic?
Here's my problem, Smith. She has a list of things that she can do that will make me probably freak out and say I can't continue the conversation. And she also has a list of ways to frame it so that if I do that, I'm bad faith and she isn't.
Right.
And she's doing both of those at the same time.
No, so Katee, you have done that. You have done that.
Feel a little cornered.
You have done that.
Can I help? Can I help?
Let me
listen.
Let for 1 second. Okay, you have done that.
I don't think you're capable.
I think that there's been a precedent set with Max's recent interviews that makes me more personally. I know you don't care, but it makes me more understanding of why she feels like she has to do that, even though it puts you in a box that forces that same very thing to happen. And I think if we want to move past this part of the conversation, which I know you don't want to, but if we want to, Katee,
never going to.
You know, Katee, if you want him to fucking feel fucking better and be able to trust you the way you want to be trusted, what you're gonna have to do. What you're gonna have to do is wait. Let me say the thing I want to say. The very thing I want to say. You need to let me say it. If you want to earn that trust from him, you're going to have to show to him that he can leave, and you're not gonna put him in that box. You need to. You know
anything about this Smith guy? Like, what's his deal?
Yeah, I've had it. Oh, go on. Ask your question before I answer.
No, please go ahead.
He's been on my show a few times. I'm actually speaking to him Monday. About Max, and because I have questions too, right? Like right after my interview, he put out a text publicly, a tweet, as they say, right, about how he was really disappointed in MrGirl's performance and how bad faith he was during it. And so, given that they are still on good terms, I am curious to kind of find out what his relationship is with Max and what his actual thoughts are away from the horses and things. So I don't know.
Yeah, we talked to him briefly during the fundraiser stream. And I'm sorry you didn't get to pop on that at all. There were some structural flaws with how he ran that.
It's fine.
But he's an unusual dude, is what I will say. Iker Rules, thank you for the $4.99. I watched his wife punching video with Beckett, and I think everyone else should too. Yeah, he's once again, just very quickly, like the fact that he plays fast and loose with his self-portrayal as being either oblivious or actually actually in the know and weaponizing the form. I don't know whether to believe him. My inclination is just to believe him anyways, because at any point he's completely within his liberty to just say, "Hey, look, guys, this was a stunt. I wanted to be the kooky abuser person who's nonetheless kind of lovable and charming or whatever." I mean, then we have to ask, well, do we believe that? Because there's a reason to do that. But like, he's made his bed. He can lie.
Interesting. Okay.
To take that box away from him, the one that he's saying that you put him in.
Okay, can I reword that slightly?
Yeah.
Katee, you can't present your moderation decisions as though it is impossible that you're wrong.
I never did that.
I know you can say you never did that, but I think that is what you're implying.
It's okay that you think that's what I'm implying.
What would make me trust you?
Did you catch anything in the conversation so far that would give you that impression, Wick? Or like
No.
Even anything that's...
Katee, for all of the criticisms I could give her, she is honest and genuine, and she does. If she says something, she'll do her best to stick to it, and that's one of the reasons I keep having her on my streams, and one of the reasons I like her is because she's honest. So I know I recognize that Max may not know her, but I do, and I'd vouch for her. Not that he trusts my vouching, but you know. So, but no, she has not communicated or done anything either in the DM that she sent or in her behavior thus far that would communicate to a sane, rational individual that she is untrustworthy or trying to be a bully or anything.
Yeah, she said she wanted to talk to me at some point, so I might take that up. Seems to be doing a decent job actually so far, all things considered.
Would be communicating in a way that makes you sound like you know that you cannot define whether you are good faith. You can't define whether you're being unconsciously dishonest because it's unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
you can't know.
Sorry.
Wait, let me finish. You cannot know if you are being a slimy shitball.
Can I know my intentions?
Your intentions are irrelevant. That's what this whole debate is about right now.
Okay.
I'm saying you stated your intentions in this message.
Yeah.
You
and
said
yet you assumed a lot of shit onto it.
no. You think you still don't understand what I'm saying. When you say things like, I'm asking a genuine question.
Mm-hmm.
When I accuse people of being bad faith,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not accusing them of intentionally being bad faith. No one intentionally wants to humiliate themselves in front of thousands of people by asking a question that doesn't make any fucking sense.
I don't know, Max.
Do you feel humiliated, by the way, from your conversation with Max?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I feel like the last week sort of belies that statement by Max himself at this point.
Fair.
I'm never accusing people of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm accusing them of unconsciously being manipulative.
What does that
So
mean?
if you want me to trust you as a moderator, you would need to acknowledge that you cannot actually define.
Isn't that the moderator's job? Just no, stop it for a minute. I'm sorry.
Define your intentions.
No, it's okay.
Isn't that the moderator's job? It's to dirty word manipulate, right? It's to guide. Let's use a less loaded term, but that means the same thing. To guide the audience or guide the discussion in a way that's productive and to help the contestants, the debaters, the interlocutors stay on track. That's manipulative, but it's their job as the moderator is to manipulate, right? Now, I think what he's trying to get at is he's trying to create a narrative.
Just a heads up, Wick. Are you using it like a... Does your headset have batteries?
No, why? Is it cutting out?
Your quality was diminishing a tiny bit. Just wanted to make sure we didn't...
Oh. Well, maybe I'm wicking out a little bit, so, you know, the gain and stuff. I don't know.
Fair enough.
But, everyone can hear me? Okay?
We can still hear you just fine. I just want to make sure,
so, yes. I think that there is a problem with what he's doing here is, again, he's trying to paint a narrative that everyone who moderates him is out to get him. Now, again, it's smart, right? I think that this is something that you can see in presidential debates before the debate. Each side will say, well, you know, the moderators for this debate are actually secretly on the enemy's team, and that's why they're going to give them the hard questions, and they're going to go easy on their opponent. It's just kind of, you know, poisoning the well a little bit, framing it, pre-framing the situation so they can kind of guide people's perceptions.
Even taking more minimalist approach, like at minimum, a moderator is there to make sure that everybody's adhering to the structure of the conversation.
Yes.
Max has not let a single person speak without interrupting them thus far, unless my memory is faulty. That's the moderator's job, is to say, hey, this isn't the topic, this is the topic. And at this point, if Max really wants to discuss a different topic than the debate, which is labeled here even on Smeth's side as male feminism, not the moderation of the debate on male feminism, he shouldn't be threatening to leave. He should leave.
Though they did, to be clear, all agree to have this conversation on air. So it wasn't like out of the blue. It's not.
Was that earlier here? Am I like?
Yes,
did I have a stroke or
they said
something
it right
during this?
on the stream earlier. You may have been playing your game. I understand.
I may have been playing. No, I'm paying attention. I'm just.
No, it's fine. Just real quick. James Castile paid $10 to say this. Being unconsciously manipulated is such a nonsense thing to say. Everyone and every interaction they have is manipulative. Being loving, caring father, you're manipulating them into loving you. Thank you for the $10. Okay, carry on.
Hey, chat. Where's my $10? Let's keep going.
Let's have a contest. Who can
But you
raise the
would then
most
need to-
money? Let's go.
Oh my God! Yes, please.
Wick versus Sunday. Which one will get rich?
Squids, come on! Like we're not losing to this hack fraud, are we?
Go ahead.
Concede that your intentions are pretty irrelevant, given the accusation I often level at the people I'm talking to is that they are unintentionally bad faith. Your intentions
Okay.
have no bearing on how
Okay.
I'm going to interpret what you say or do.
May I address that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. So, my intentions, I agree, are pretty irrelevant in this space.
Okay.
People either do not understand or do not care about my intentions. I 100% agree with that. It is very clear to me that my intentions, how I feel, and what my internal monologue is, has zero bearing on what most people's perceptions of me is. I agree with you on that completely. I also agree that when people do stuff unconsciously, they're unlikely to be able to realize that they're doing something unconsciously. So I agree with that too. If you're doing something that you're unaware that you're doing, you're unaware of it. Obviously, if I'm doing something that I'm unaware of, I would be unaware of that. I admit that if I'm unaware of what I'm doing, I am unaware of it. You
Okay.
can then, you can then be an adult and tell me, hey,
She's growing
I
on me.
think you're doing this X bad thing.
I like her.
And I will
I'm doing that, and
introspect.
I'm doing
I'm not
it,
done
and
talking.
But
I'm not
she's
done talking.
frustrated. No, okay, just real quick.
Yeah.
If you've never talked to Katee before, she's great, but she's also terrible. She's fun to talk to because she is combative and she will fight you, and that's a good thing because it's content, right? But yeah,
You know what it is? You know
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
She fights you like your sister fights you.
kind of.
But she's. Are you okay over there?
Oh,
Hang on one second. I need to make sure
everything good
nobody
on
died.
the Sunday.
I
end?
will. Just give me 1 sec.
Do your
I
thing.
apologize.
While he's gone, gang, don't forget. If you like what you see, if you're enjoying this content, okay, whether you be a squid or whether you be a wicker, you can give us money, right? You can follow if you haven't. You can hit that like button.
We're all good.
You can hit that subscribe button. Okay, fair enough. Carry on. I was just
Hang on. I can't hear you yet. Sorry, someone was just having a sneezing fit. I thought somebody had died. It's all good.
Everything's good. Show must go
Everything's
on.
good.
Let's go.
Let's go. Very quickly, thank you, Decoy Duck, Smith Black, and Insomnoir, for your pity dollars. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Let's keep it coming.
And thank you, Naritas, and thank you, what was your name? Spicy Cannon Fodder for the bits. Really appreciate it. And Mudit Agaral for the $5. Keep it up, gang.
They're beating us, guys. The Shire cannot prevail over. Okay, whatever.
Okay, carry on.
I'm not done
You're not
talking.
handling it.
I'm
very
not
well.
done talking.
Okay.
Thank you. And I will then introspect and try to think about what you said. And we can
Okay.
discuss that.
I've
I'm not
given-
done. I'm not
but
done.
I've- but I've
I'm not
given you
done. I'm not done.
But this isn't playing
I'm
out the
not
way
done. You ask for people to wait until you're done.
Oh, I love this so much.
Okay. So I am open to doing that with you. If you feel like I have struggled introspecting, that is what I meant with trust. If you think I'm incapable of even addressing criticisms that you have of me, then I would say that I am unfit for this conversation, since you don't even trust me to be able to address critiques that you levy of me.
I don't know why you're not addressing them. I don't know if it's that you're incapable, but my experience so far has been that when I point out something that I think you are unconsciously doing, your response is to tell me I'm wrong, remind me of your conscious intention, shut down the conversation, accuse me of being untrustworthy or implicitly paranoid somehow, and then tell me that we have to move on. Tell me that this isn't what we plan to talk about, even though it is. And I don't see you introspecting. What you just described sounds nice, but that hasn't been my experience so far.
Okay.
I apologize. That hasn't been your experience.
I'm going to tell you.
Try again?
Yes.
Can I tell you why I'm defending her, or do you want to go, Katie?
He said that I can try again,
Okay.
so we'll do that.
Okay.
I apologize that has been your experience. I will try to demonstrate that I am capable of introspection.
Please.
Good. So can we move on to the second topic now?
I want to say
Well,
something.
I've already given you
No,
feedback that you
Smeth,
could
no.
introspect about. You could do it right now.
I want to say
unless you
something.
don't.
Okay, I want to fucking say something. Okay, I had a pretty long stream with Katie before, and I talked about this with her before you went on, and I also said this might be a good stream conversation. But people's perception of her in general, and something that this is kind of criticism that she gets generally a lot. What you're saying to her, in other words, it's something she said to me when we were talking. When on stream, is she thinks that she is autistic, but she was.
Oh my god! Thank you, 𝕾𝖎𝖙, for the $49 US. Definitely angry sister vibes. I'm beating you.
What is
I'm
going
beating
on?
you.
Are we gonna let this? We can't run away from this battle. We're not
Cthulhu.
squids. We gotta run
Cthulhu's-
towards.
Cthulhu swims left, not in the fucking center, my dude. You gotta up your game.
Oh, we'll
never
see.
diagnosed. And once she said that,
I don't
I
give
was
a
like,
fuck.
Wait, no, hold on.
Fuck.
hold
No.
on. No, hold on.
No.
Okay,
No.
I know you don't give a
No.
fuck, but I
No,
I need to
you're
explain
just
why.
white knighting her. You're
No,
not.
I'm
You're
not.
fucking
Your
sexist.
No, I'm not.
This isn't feminism. This is sex. You are.
I'm willing to
You're
have
white
that
knight-
conversation with you,
you
but I
are
want to
white
say what I
knighting-
want to
you're
say.
white
I want to
knighting-
finish. I
you're
want to
white-
finish white knighting her. I want to finish white knighting her
White
first.
I don't want to hear it. You're white knighting the moderator. I just said if you're so good at introspecting, then fucking introspect about the criticism I already gave you.
Okay, no, but
And I
that's
just
not
gave
what
you
I'm.
another
That's not what I'm. I'm
And
not saying she's.
I just gave
I'm
her
not
another
saying that.
criticism.
I'm not saying
she's
that
not-
that's. What
Why?
I'm trying
Why
to
are you
say.
swooping? Why are you? You always.
What I'm
swoop
trying
in with
to
like,
say-
oh, but like, here's how she feels. It sounds
No,
like her message.
what I'm
sounds
trying
like
to
her DM
say-
to you had
listen,
a lot of
listen.
anxiety in it, and I think she might be autistic too. It's not. You are just
Max,
running interference.
You're
Are you
right.
going to let him-
Hang on.
I don't know what to do.
Just nothing. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. Just
Fair. Carry on.
just press.
Of course.
No,
Thank you.
the reason I'm saying that is I feel like her communication doesn't align perfectly. Like she's just incredibly. The way I see her ever since she told me that is she's incredibly blunt. And if you tell her like the kind of feedback that you're giving, she's just gonna be like, I don't feel that way. And then, but like,
Smith.
but when I've talked to her, when I
there's
have
a
talked
ceiling
to her, whenever that type of thing happens, and when I watch her talk to Destiny or whatever, whenever this occurs, and she's doing this stubborn thing that you're pointing out right now, where you're giving her something to introspect about, she says that, but then the conversation proceeds as if she did introspect. She's just stubborn about it when she's talking about it. That's the way I trust her even though she acts like that. I don't see her that way. How do you feel about me?
I guess
You haven't imagined.
I will say this, withholding any further commentary about that Destiny panel. She was engaged in a flexible and honest way, and I actually appreciated
true.
her there.
She adjusts.
Binary
She's
version of
flexible.
Katie in your head. That is very
Okay.
introspective.
She's a
wait.
real one.
How
blah, blah.
would I need to demonstrate introspection?
Well, here's
Max, tell me.
This is a common question he gets
You'd
asked.
say, "Oh, I see what you mean, Max. Me DMing
Which
you
one?
that I am genuine."
How can I demonstrate that I am being introspective, genuine, whatever? I asked him that. I think you asked him that. I think Katie just asked him that.
I didn't ask him that. I don't care if he can demonstrate that at
Oh,
all.
fair enough.
But I think you did.
Yeah, I did. Maybe it was Kidology who did it. I don't know. I've seen too many of these. They blur together. To be honest, they're the same. It's like repeat. But go on.
I don't blame you.
Given your common criticism of people is that they don't say they're genuine, it's that they're actually not genuine, could be perceived by you as disingenuous. I do see how I'm kind of setting it up so that if you set boundaries with me or if you leave the stream for some reason, yes, I'm setting you up to make it look like you were incapable of being moderated, not because I did a shitty job of moderating. That would be introspective.
Okay. Do I need to say that verbatim, or can I just say I fully agree with you?
You are welcome
Which
to
one does
spice
it
it up however you want. You could do
No,
whatever. You could do whatever you want. For me to think that you're introspecting,
I'm just asking if you need me to say it, or can I just say I agree?
I will believe you if you say you agree.
I agree. Can we move
don't
on to the
believe you.
second
Yeah.
topic?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I do believe
Okay.
it.
This is what I'm
Okay,
talking
good.
about, though.
Will
Can
we get
move
to
on
the second topic?
Well, Smith, you're acting like her saying.
Oh,
I don't
nope.
know.
We were almost there. It was
We
close.
okay, Wick, just a heads up. This thing is 3 hours and 33 minutes long. We are 32 minutes in.
Oh, no.
We have been here for an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, no.
I'm going to the washroom. I'm going to be right back.
Do your thing. Okay, gang. Yeah, I don't know if this is painful, gang.
Look. At a certain point, we may jump ahead. We'll see how bad
Fair.
it gets.
Fair. Go do your thing. I'll entertain the guests. Welcome, guests, right? Well, are you liking this so far? Like, look, I don't usually do react content or review content, but this is kind of a new segment where we're kind of exploring together. Are you all enjoying it? Are you having fun? Well, I'm glad you like it, Courtesy. Hasroda, thank you for the bits. Really appreciate it. Falsers, nice to see you. Noah Brown, always a pleasure. Leia Bordeaux. Shlomo Bagelstein. Is that anti-Semitic? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's find out. No, but yeah, it's the frustrating part of watching these things is I'm very much a doer rather than an observer. Observing's fun and all, but I like to get in there. I like to actually get in on the conversation and actually participate. And so watching this play out, I want to jump in, but I know this is the past. I can't go back and change it, right? But I want to jump in because I know Katee and I know Smeth. I don't really know Max that well, but I know both of them, and I kind of want to support them, right? And help them have an interesting conversation, but it's just hard watching. I do wonder. I want to talk to maybe Katee will talk to me in private about this or something, but I want to know if she has a better idea of the pain I go through when I moderate, right? Does she understand better now how hard some people are to actually moderate? Because it's a struggle, gang. It's a struggle. Oh. Yes, and Max is still interrupting. Max, again, we said it before, but it bears repeating. He is very much doing everything he accuses others of doing. He has a very conspiratorial way of thinking from what I have observed thus far. And maybe I've just seen the bad parts, right? Maybe I've just seen the bad side of Max. Maybe there's a good side that I'm unaware of. So let's give him grace a little bit. But yeah, it's very possible. Like, he has a very conspiratorial brain, and he will make a decision on what's going on, and then everything he sees will point to that decision. Vash Stampede, thank you for the $20. I've been waiting for this. Thank you for hanging up on Max. That was so satisfying, and heck with it. Thank you for actually telling him to go into the void. Thanks for the good panels. I'm always glad to see a good moderator. You're welcome. Thank you for the $20.
How long was your conversation with Max? How long did that take you?
2 hours-ish?
2
Maybe a little less.
That's a fair point in time to kick him. He doesn't
I gave him
know
as
what's
much
there.
room as I could, but yeah.
Well, I mean, he was at your throat like from the first 10 minutes.
I'm not a punching bag. True.
Saying like, what you could do is you could be an adult. It doesn't undermine saying I agree. For most people, still, I'm trusting you enough to just say I agree, even though you just took a bunch of shots at me. I think I am being pretty trusting, Smith.
Meth.
Okay.
I'm ready to move on.
Great. Okay. So there were two things that I wanted for us to have a productive conversation about the topic at hand. I
Wait.
wanted to hear
Is
what.
there anything we need to? Do we need to talk about moderating more?
I feel
No.
like-
I
I feel like so one thing that you mentioned earlier to me in the DM, and the reason I think you asked me, Katee, about if you wanted to talk about moderating is because you're probably going to have opinions on the topic. So how much Max are you comfortable with her? Like,
I'm not gonna weigh in. Like,
she's okay. She says she's not
if
gonna weigh in.
I wanted to like ask if I'm allowed to weigh in, but the way this is going, it would be like highly unproductive. So I'm just gonna moderate. In terms of moderating, the moderation that I would do is if you guys talk over each other, I'll mute whoever started talking over each other. That's just what I'm gonna be doing. The end. Okay. Just 2 questions that I wanted us to get to so we can have productive conversation. Just a very quick explanation, if you can, of what you think a feminist is, and then a definition for male interests would be good as well. Those are the 2 things I'd really want. And then from there, you guys can open, and I will just mute whoever talks over the other person who was speaking first.
I think you should go first.
My shit's all fucked.
I consent to him interrupting me a little bit.
Fucked up. I consent to Smith
Shit's all
interrupting me
fucked up,
whenever he wants to.
You'll know when I don't consent. You'll know when I don't consent.
Okay, how about when you
That's what
yell
I always
mod,
say.
then no, we're not doing that. You just don't talk over each other. It's fine.
Okay.
Yo, Spicy Cannon Fodder, thanks for the 5 subs. Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
What is a feminist and what is male interest?
What is the woman?
Whatever you define it as.
Yeah, let's define male and female. I said male for a reason, you know. I try to avoid these progressives, so I just started using male and females. I sound like a rapper talking about these females, but they're coming for that too. I just had a conversation with someone on Discord.
We all know.
You do? Wait, a private conversation.
About feminism?
No. I had a private Discord call with somebody about a bunch of different, a wide-ranging conversation. But in one part of it, I was like, do you think trans women are female? And she was like, well, I think that blah, blah, blah.
Is this a debate on feminism or trans issues?
Trans women are female. And she was like, I think sex is a bimodal.
I don't know what this is a debate about at this point, honestly. I don't know.
Carry on.
I was like,
I don't know.
Just do you think trans women are female, male, or it's more complicated than that? She was like, it's more complicated than that. And I was like, oh God. So now the word female isn't safe anymore. The answer is both,
technically.
So now we have to define it. So, do you think trans women are female?
No.
Do you think trans women are male?
Yes.
Okay. For the purpose of this conversation, if we slip into using women and men, can it just mean female and male?
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
Easy peasy for measy.
What does this get him exactly? I don't understand what advantage it is to Max to specify these, especially since it's only going to be using gendered language anyways. It's odd.
I think if I had to guess, again, I haven't seen it. I think he's just asking. When I say man, I mean male, and I want that to be clear. And when I say woman, I mean female. So he is going to at least lay the groundwork for him misgendering a trans person later, maybe, if he wants to, by saying that man, and so he can just kind of get away with it.
It's kind of like an exception to the rule kind of thing? Or? I
don't know. That's a guess, but I don't honestly know. I don't know why in a debate about feminism, trans issues would... I don't know. We'll find out.
All right. Feminism is the belief that women and men should have equal power.
No, that is not what it is.
Yeah. Women and men should have equal power.
Will Smeth define it correctly? Let's find out. One's in chat if you think he will.
That's not how I was going to define it, but I think that's a good definition. I'm going to have to wait till you give your weigh in on my definition, but I think that's a good one.
How about you now do your definition, and then we'll do the male interest after.
Okay. Well, mine for both of those mixes together. And I don't know if I'm doing that in a manipulative way. So I'll let the master of pointing out when people are being manipulative let me know. I think when I think about the patriarchy, which I would define feminism as the antidote to the patriarchy. And so the enemy is patriarchy, and I would define that as a broken relationship between men and women. And I agree. I think that society and a lot of structures, especially social media, but just generally, a lot of society has been built for and around men and in the interests of men. So
I have a problem.
Okay.
I think this definition is somewhat, or argument is somewhat tautological, because by broken you mean unequal.
Okay.
I mean, like, men and women.
I don't
Okay, stop
agree.
it a minute. I gotta ask you a question.
For billions of years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just because I'm curious, do you think either of those definitions were good or close to good?
I think Smeth's was more passable than the other one. Feminism is a very broad and diverse thing, way more so than just like the first, second, and third wave notions that we have. I think the most respectable use of it in present day is an analytical frame in which you are paying attention to the ways in which gender stratification sort of informs how we assume society ought to be ordered. So, for example, one person I'm reading at the moment is, I don't know what you call her exactly. I think she was a journalist, but she wrote a lot about urban planning. Jane Jacobs wrote a book called The Death and Life of Great American Cities. And one of the things that she does is she challenges a lot of assumptions in urban planning thought that insists that different types of zones, I guess, should be like cordoned off into their own sectors. Work should be over here.
Recreation
should be over here,
right?
Well, not just zoning laws, because you can have mixed zoning. So she's being in favor of that. So, for example, you can have like work, play, and domestic stuff all in the same space. And when you see like really robust, rich, dense neighborhoods where there are people in the streets talking to each other all the time, unlike North American cities where it's just like these large sterile blocks where people walk to and fro but nobody ever actually interacts, that's what's going on there. And the reason why I bring this up is because one of the things that informs her perspective and the basis of her critique is that unlike your average, salaryman who will be traveling from the house, typically in the one-family car, to a place of work and then come back, she experiences on the ground the way in which the strict compartmentalization of like social functions sort of impoverishes the community at home. Because one of the side effects of like a patriarchal set of assumptions about how like men are the breadwinners, etc., is that they are also brutalized into being essentially workhorses all day long, and they don't get to experience most of life on most days of the week. Whereas women, by contrast, housewives and such, they're the ones who like walk cities and shop and go to coffee shops and meet people and go to parks and things like that. They're the ones who actually experience the city as it's meant to be experienced. So that's
interesting.
That's where I would come at from this, but like not specifying it any further.
Yeah, that was. I'm not gonna lie to you, buddy. That was a lot for. Are these definitions good? Yes, Wick, they're very good. Or no, Wick, they sucked. But I appreciate the information nonetheless.
Smeth is hitting closer than MrGirl.
I feel so too. Though I will say that simply defining feminism as opposition to the patriarchy feels like it does a disservice to feminism. I think feminism isn't necessarily tied to being just opposed to the patriarchy. I think it can go beyond that, but neither here nor there. I'm just curious. Go on.
No, I would generally agree with that, depending on like a lot of us back in that, but we'll press on.
Maybe if it's tautological, it's tautological for other reasons that I feel are justified.
Can you address what I'm saying?
But let me finish what I'm saying first, and then I can address that, because I want to.
This is what happens. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think it's a broken relationship. So when I saw this fucking video going around on Twitter.
Mean?
I'm just fucking explaining it. So I saw a video. I'm giving you an example. I saw a video going around that I tweeted. I know you saw it. Some woman talking about like screaming down a man who in a parking lot because he went within 30 feet of her.
Yeah.
And while I agree that that might be protective and beneficial for women in a lot of cases, I think it's unacceptable. And I think the reason it's unacceptable for me as a man is because for whatever reason, whether men deserve it or whether it is safe to do that or a good idea, it's just not a healthy relationship between men and women. MrGirl, do you have a mom? Do you have a mom? Do you have a fucking mom?
I don't know what you mean by have. I had one.
Okay, you were born from a woman and she raised you. And women raised you around you. Like in a world where those women are traumatized, do you...
I mean, given Lav as his daughter, could he be referring to Shaylin?
I have no evidence that suggests that he wasn't cloned in a lab, so yeah, I don't know.
You think that you're going to be the best version of yourself? Like, I think that if we didn't live in a, I think I would be better off.
Means broken means not the best possible version.
Broken, like, so, like, okay, okay, a lot of, I think the reason this is tautological is I fundamentally love women. So if I'm in a relationship with a woman, even if I have more power than her, it's not just like, how can I reduce my power? It's still, how can we solve it? It's still you still go to couples counseling. You don't try to pick a designated patient in max terms and say, okay, we need to focus on you. You're the bad guy. We need to work together. And there's things that you're doing that will perpetuate this. Like, and they're like maybe it's even imbalanced in my favor because of her.
Wait a second.
And that's why I say it's a broken relationship.
Okay. I agree with a lot of the individual things you're saying, but they're not really, to me, coming together to answer my fucking question.
Is she taking notes?
When you say the relationship between men and women is broken,
I don't know.
To me, that sounds like you're saying it's unequal. But you're saying it's broken as an example for why it should be equal.
I'm not
in an argument where but the argument you're making is that it's bad for it to be unequal. So you're like, patriarchy is bad because it's unequal, and one reason it's bad is that it's broken, and the way that it's broken is it's patriarchy.
I am not
like, okay,
defining...
you don't like patriarchy. I get
I'm not
it.
defining patriarchy. I'm not defining patriarchy or the imbalance or inequality as merely just power and differential. I'm talking about the thing that causes the imbalance of power, and I don't think the cause of the imbalance of power just is on the backs of men. I think that the cause of the imbalance of power is something that we all are part of. Like, I don't think patriarchy is something that men make and produce for themselves. I mean,
it's a fool's errand. There's no purpose to taking notes for this, but I mean, power to her for trying.
I think because we're so unable to criticize women, the biggest hurdle right now in feminism is actually to criticize the way that women play into the patriarchy themselves. Like, this is something off the top of my, because okay.
No, you both stop. I need to interject.
Yeah.
I need to interject.
I've been thinking that too.
You can actually see the full political spectrum in effect as like a very real phenomenon just by the gradation of mic quality.
Look, let's not talk about quality of streams. People are complaining about the kind of schizo looking panel I got going on with like you guys streaming there, me streaming here, the stream itself up there. We need to figure out a way sometime off stream to kind of
I think what I
clean
I
this
think
up.
what I need to do. Apparently, you can have it so you have different scenes operating concurrently. So I think that's what I'll have to do for next time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out for next week.
Smith, did you finish
We're almost
your
on the first
definition
hour.
of feminist?
No.
No.
He didn't even start.
Okay, then.
Well, I think that's kind of the whole thing, isn't it?
No, you're rambling, Smith.
Maybe.
Okay,
I'm rambling.
that's my
He
job
was,
to stop him from
to be
rambling.
fair.
He was.
Okay.
Okay.
He was.
Okay. Smith, we will both listen and not interject with you, and you will complete your definition, and then you guys can argue
Okay,
about the
okay.
definition.
I will
if you want.
focus. Okay.
But
I've been using
but-
the definite.
let me, Smith,
Smith.
Mhm.
think of you. However, I think it would be most productive if you exchanged your versions, and then if
Yeah.
you guys want to argue about that, that's fine. I don't think that's super important, but we can discuss that later. Just
I've been
give us your
using. Yeah, I've been using it as a branch off and just starting the conversation. That's why I'm rambling. Okay, I'll
Okay.
try to just
Yeah,
concisely say my definition.
Yeah. Don't.
Okay, fuck
Okay.
you. Feminism is therapy for men and women.
What?
Okay. Do you guys want to argue about the
Okay, I
definition
take
of
it back. He
feminism?
wasn't
Is that
close.
okay?
I don't.
Okay. No. Unfortunately, MrGirl's closer than Smith.
Yeah, I take it back.
Okay. Well, hang on. Wait. Let's. Okay, hang on a sec. What if he means feminism is a therapeutic intervention on the patriarchal assumptions that are ailing? Or no, he doesn't mean that. He's just no.
Make any goddamn sense. No.
You're right.
It's not
It is a
an okay
metaphor.
definition. It's not a metaphor. It doesn't make sense. Because again,
It
it's
doesn't. I'm
chronological.
struggling here. It doesn't. Feminism is therapy. Look, I'm all for clever phrases. One of my favorite quotes, right, is feminism is the radical idea that women are people. It's fun. It's a good quote, right? But it doesn't really say much, right? It's kind of a
Well,
flippant.
that's a good description of suffragism. That doesn't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
you to
Yeah. Anyway,
I can stretch a meaning. I can stretch a meaning from what Smith is saying, but it's Smith saying it, so I know that I can't. That's the problem.
got you.
All you're saying is feminism is good. You're saying it is the process by which something improves.
He's saying
Yes.
feminism
But
is
what is being improved, and what is the problem? And give in to their biological desire to sit in the kitchen
Was
and
that
suck my dick
us or was
until
that
dinner's
them?
ready. What if that makes women
So Smith
happy,
is in my
opinion?
chat, and he
Is that
said
feminism?
that he absolutely means
Okay,
what Sunday
I know.
said he means jokingly. But because he doesn't respect me, he slanders me instead. Fair enough.
Smith want to join us?
I don't know. Smith, do you want to join us? Can we handle this many men in the same room? I don't know.
Let him stew on it for a bit.
Yeah, take your
Okay,
time, because
okay,
me and Smith are going to talk
Sure.
Monday
Okay,
too, and
fine.
I don't want to
Yeah.
retread, so.
You might. So I would agree with you. Your framing.
I might
works
think that,
for
but I would be
this.
wrong because you do have a value judgment
Max!
about the best
He's too tired,
relationship
that's
between men and
fair
women.
enough.
Your value
Max!
judgment is that it should be
Okay.
equal, not
That's
that you don't.
Max!
So the improvement still has to have a.
By the way, that's not a slight against you, Smith. I'm just saying. What am I saying?
Remember, anger management arc. Come on, Sunday. The nicer, kinder,
Okay,
gentler
yeah,
Sunday.
No, you're right. Okay. I'm not saying I don't think that's what you were saying because I think there's any defect about you, but you're a former Mr. Girl follower, so my expectation is that you're not going to be amenable to that kind of analysis right up the gate. I'd be thrilled for you to prove me wrong.
It can't just
Mr. Girl.
feminism just can't be therapy It's therapy
Let him
towards
talk.
something. I am. I'm
Towards-
helping him.
No,
Towards what?
I feel like he.
I am. I'm
Towards-
helping him.
no.
Towards what?
I feel like he's helping me.
Okay.
Towards. I need to fucking check because my OBS crashed and I can't see chat right now. But it says that it's
Okay.
back. I need to check to see that I'm actually live right now. Because I cannot see chat if I am.
Actually,
Towards something.
Wick, before we press on,
What's up?
if Smeth is in your chat, ask him what the hell was going on with the music early on.
Smeth, what was going on with the music early on? Well, I don't. He can hear you if he's in my chat. Okay, Smeth. Yeah, the music thing. Me and Sunday are in an accord. The music was a bad idea at the beginning. It made it very hard to hear what you had to say. It very hard to follow the conversation. Yeah, please don't do that again. Thank you.
I liked it.
All right,
was
am I
bad.
live right now? I can see chat now. Okay, scuffed.
I am. I'm helping.
Okay, yeah, I am live right now. Okay. The goal, okay, the good, I do think that there is a value judgment. I do think that wouldn't. I think that the person who wants their girlfriend to suck their dick more, and that I think that person can think it's feminism, which is something you also, but they'd be wrong. So I think that
Why?
the
Why?
real.
Why?
Okay.
Why is it
For the
wrong?
record, guys, it is not anti-feminist to want your partner to suck your dick more. Just throwing it out there.
I think I'm gonna agree with your definition. Power.
Okay. Okay.
The reason that I'm
Okay,
framing it
so-
in the tautological way that I'm framing it
That's
is
fine.
because
I'm just trying to say that your definition is saying it is just therapy is not, it's not really grounding it in a goal. You're saying if feminism is also therapy, but therapy for the purpose of giving men and women equal power.
but the way that you achieve equal power may be weird.
Okay.
There might even be I think there are a lot of ways that women need to cede power in order to be empowered, because they're empowered by being sexually objectified.
I hope he gives
And,
I hope he gives
process-
examples of that.
There are places both of them could go that would be interesting. I don't have faith in given the conversation thus far, that it will. But
We will see. I withhold
We'll see.
judgment.
So fixing that would be actually experienced by women as a loss of power. The process of not wearing makeup would be a loss of power.
Okay.
And so
What?
He's rambling.
no, I'm not. I'm not.
You
rambling.
are. You're
I'm-
giving all these examples. I'm like, she's like, can you define feminism? I say one sentence, and then
No,
it's
I
like,
already defined it. I went with your definition.
Okay, great. So back to you, Katie. Like, what? I thought she was
Yes.
moderating the conversation, and you're just like,
Max.
no. I don't like it when people do it. I don't like it when it's like, okay, define the thing, and so you give me a task, and I think I am a little like Katie. I'm a little autistic. So you tell me the task, and I'm like, oh, give my definition. So I give it, and I'm like, okay, your turn, and then you're like, well, we all know this is the time to launch into my 1,000 examples and arguments. And
Yes,
it's
he's
it's
a
not.
bit rambly. He
Yeah,
admitted it.
it's unfair.
I
Maybe.
agree.
I don't really. I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's unfair, but I'm willing to play
Well,
play ball.
I agree in the sense that I don't think you intend it to be unfair. It just comes out
Whatever.
that way. Okay.
Whatever, Katie.
Okay, Smith. Definition of male interests. And Smith will keep it as brief as you will, Max.
My tweet was referring to the interests of the male. The interests of men are male interests. That's it. Just material or immediate sexual power. I think material.
Aha.
Let's just say material interests. And
Oh.
so
hee hee ho ho.
my tweet is saying that in a man who
Come on, Max, you can do it.
always acts in his own interest cannot be a feminist regardless of what he believes.
Okay. I have a clarifying question. Are we okay,
Okay.
with that?
Yeah.
Smith?
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on that take, Wick?
No, men can be feminists, right? Feminism, like,
But
look, you don't have to be a
are they
perfect
acting?
person.
Are they acting against their own interests?
No. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. So, the problem with the structures we have today is that both genders, men and women, are victimized in different ways, but still victimized. As you mentioned earlier, your book points out that men are expected to be the workhorses. They're expected to be the breadwinners. They're expected to be the laborers, etc. They're expected to defend the country. We don't require women to sign up for the draft in America, for example, right? And so we have these onuses and responsibilities on us that are onerous, to be quite frank, and it is unfair, and it is kind of a victimization. Now, we also have privileges that women don't, right? So women are victimized in their own ways. They lack opportunities in a lot of cases. They are seen as lesser, the second sex. I don't know if you've ever read it. It's a very interesting question, but no, I don't think necessarily that men are acting against their interests. I think that the interests of both can align. Now, yes, I would agree with Smeth, right? That both sides have to cede ground in this in order to gain ground. Like, sexual objectification. Women need to stop playing into it. Women are, in many ways, very strong upholders of the patriarchy and the status quo and whatever you want to call it, whether you think the patriarchy still exists or not, right? I've had a recent debate on that. I think that women do uphold these stereotypes, gendered roles, etc. And so both have to give up some of their expectations in order to start a new thing. That's my thoughts. What about you?
I think I actually that's a fairly decent response. I would challenge that just slightly because there are in some cases going to be indeed men and even some women as individuals who find that they materially benefit from that state of affairs more so than if that state of affairs didn't obtain. But this is where you'd get into like a whole like intersectional analysis and stuff like that.
Fair.
But I think that's actually a fairly serviceable reply. So
Good enough for Twitch. We'll say that. And YouTube.
Good enough. Good enough for Sunday at 4 p.m.
Good enough.
Saturday afternoon.
My clarifying question is this. You said immediate at the beginning, and I think that's an important distinction. Do we mean immediate or do we mean overarching? Because I might have an interest right now to eat a lot of chocolate.
Pause it.
but
I'm
the
sorry.
long run,
Someone
that
in
might
chat-
make me
That's
fat.
Okay,
not it. You're right.
gang?
That's
One sec.
against your interest.
One sec.
to eat a bunch of chocolate.
What'd they say?
You can call this the WhickTV show. That's fine. But the Sundick show, let's not call it the Sundick show ever again. Okay?
Chat. This is the first official episode of the Sundick Show.
It's a terrible name. God.
All right, let's keep going.
Oh yeah, I was about to say.
Okay.
I would say it's more about individual interest.
Where, like, so in the same way that wearing makeup is individually in the interests of women, but at large
Right.
it hurts all women.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Smith, your definition?
I don't agree with the materialist framing. I'm gonna keep it fucking concise. It's a good practice for me. I'm not good at
Interesting.
it.
Here we go.
Here we go.
No, I stopped so that I can. Jesus.
Here he goes. Yep.
Okay. You don't.
Wait, hey.
I think that's enough out of you, Smith.
What? I
turn
paused, so
again.
I'm trying to collect myself so that I
It's
can
my
do.
turn. You paused for too long.
Fuck you. No, no. I learned from the best.
Oh.
I didn't realize it was a dramatic pause. I'm sorry.
It's not a dramatic pause.
No, he's just
I
thinking.
want to.
He's thinking so he can ramble less.
No. Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I thought you were done because you paused for so long. Can you let us know when you're done?
Max.
Let us know when it's our turn. Smith.
Max.
You're stopping me from thinking.
I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing.
Then
You
stop.
don't have to tell me that.
I don't think that the material interests of men represent all the interests of men. And I think that the
I
interests
didn't
of
say
women...
they did. That's why I said material.
I know. I think the material interests of women are in the interests of men.
Do you guys disagree with each other's definitions then?
I mean, sure, sort of, but I don't get.
Smeth is
this.
changing it from an individual statement about individuals to a statement about groups. Stealing.
Okay.
Actually, no,
Stealing
not just groups. Like I said, okay, can we start the actual conversation? Because I'm gonna start rambling if we talk about if I say this.
No, you haven't given your. If you want to forego defining.
Okay,
You're
earlier
gonna wait. You want to have a debate.
Wait.
You want. I thought you wanted a debate.
Notice we're
something.
still defining terms.
And
We
the
haven't
debate
stopped
is
defining
male
terms. The
feminists
debate
must
hasn't
act
happened
against
yet.
their own interests.
That's
Do you think
fine.
that's
Well, have faith, Wick. There's still 2.5 hours left.
not true? But you don't want to define own interests.
Okay, let's say this. Okay,
Yeah.
unless like shit hits the fan in the next 15 minutes, let's jump ahead by an
I
hour.
understand. And thank you for the gift sub, 𝕾𝖎𝖙𝖚. Thank you for the sub, Cleft. Hype train's closed. One individual donor, and we start a hype train. Go, go, go. And YouTube, you're lagging behind. Come on, more
Yeah,
super chats.
squids, come on. You're making me look bad here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Max.
Okay.
Well, I
So
think
do I win? Do I get my
No.
prize now?
Max.
Max.
Smith, you can take your time giving a clear definition, or you can say, I'm not sure how I'm defining it. I'm trying
if
to
my
work.
mom, if having a mom,
Examples
is-
aren't definitions, Smith.
Well, they can be
you're
tentative
right.
definitions.
So yeah, I'm just going to say that I'm going to say that the interests of men and women are not separate.
Okay. that's
Okay,
fair.
if I am in a parking lot with Katie.
This is an example. This is
As
an
that.
Okay, this is an example to show that what you just said isn't true.
This is a
I am
hypothetical.
male
I'm gonna
and
remember
Katie
that.
is
Wait.
female. And if Katie is holding a box of donuts and I walk up to her and I say, I'm going to take one of your donuts, and then I take one, I have acted against the female in the situation's interest individually and in favor of my own interest by taking one of her donuts.
Right.
So we don't no two individuals have totally overlapping the same interests.
Okay.
Not even
What I
conjoined
wanna-
twins.
What I want to clarify, Smith, if you're okay with it, is I hear you that male and female interests do not contradict each other, are not mutually exclusive. Is that fair?
Well, he's right that I'm taking away from the individual, but I think even in the individual, like he's taking an example of two strangers in a totally material transaction where he's stealing a donut. And
Yeah, that
but
proves
if
that
you
male,
have,
male,
but if you
like, I'm
you
talking
have
about
a re-
individual interests,
but
so
if
you
you-
can't.
if you
How
have a-
are
but if
you
you-
going to show that all?
Max,
It doesn't make,
if
what
you
you're saying
have
doesn't
a
make any
relation,
sense.
but if you have a relationship,
Next time we
with
do
her,
a,
like say you're
a
dating
debate
her,
review
I'm
on
then-
not. She's a stranger.
I know.
next time we do one where there's
Yeah.
a Max is in it, we need to have a Max counter. Every time someone screams his name, we need to up that counter by 1. It'll be fun. It'll be an interesting little
Well, let's start
interactive
here.
thing.
Let's start here. He gets a few mulligans for the first
Sure.
hour.
Okay.
We're starting at 1. Okay, let's go.
Uno.
And this
I know.
hypothetical.
But like I think feminism isn't limited to like just like strangers and shit. Like in your own personal relationships, the roles that you set for yourself and the standards and expectations you set for each other, that's still feminism.
Okay, if you want to have just a kind of free-flowing conversation of where we just say different ideas about what feminism is, we can do that.
I'm not good
But-
at debating.
I know.
I know.
I can
you
see
know.
that. Okay.
You
One
can't
problem we're
say
running
that,
into
though.
is I think you have a lot of interesting ideas about this topic, and I'm happy to hear them if you want to just stop debating. But if you want to keep debating, you can't say things like male and female interests individually are the same, because it doesn't make any sense. Male and male interests individually are not the same. Your interests and my interests as individuals are not the same.
They have shared interests. They're okay. This is gonna trigger me, ain't it?
I mean,
materially, especially.
They're humans. They're in the same society. They both require super chats when they're streaming for 3+ hours.
God.
Especially when I get money
I
in my
know.
bank account, it doesn't go in your bank account. It just goes in mine. When you make money, I don't make
Well,
any
as
money.
as a
We don't have the same
MrGirl,
interests.
as a MrGirl orbiter, I think
Yeah.
our interests also are aligned too. If
Oh
you
my
got
God, I have to remember to parry.
Yes,
It's
you can
interesting-
come up
it's
with an
interesting.
example. You can come up with an example where they are aligned. There may
Okay.
be some overlap, but they are not the same.
right, they're not the same.
Okay. So
Your camera is
what
now
I'm-
stuck at MrGirl hotline, by the way.
Oh,
Smith,
oh,
just to
I forgot to
clarify,
change my thingy.
did you say they are the same, or did you say that they are not always in contradiction to one another?
He said they're the same.
He said they're the
I
same,
said
but
they're
I
the
think that's what he
same,
meant.
and
Now
so
he can
Max's definition relies on a materialistic individual view. So it must
Okay,
be
let
both
me-
materialistic and individual. My definition relied on a
Thanks for the 22 New Zealand funny money dollars. No truce, nice bait Sunday. Appreciate that.
Wickers, we just fell behind. Come on, we gotta get up. He's just gotten a $50 and a $22 donation. We need
Oh my
something,
God, yeah.
gang. Go on.
Political science master race.
social collective view.
That's fine. We can if you don't disagree with my statement, then we don't have to debate anymore. We can just
I don't
Maybe we
disagree with your
didn't-
statement, but I think that I have a different.
Spicy
Uh,
cannon fodder with 5 more subs. Oh
a different
goodness, we're
framework.
pulling ahead again. Okay.
that's fine. We can just
Fuck,
compare that.
okay.
Maybe one framework isn't better than the other. But my point in my original tweet was to say that if you are a male feminist,
Remember, chat, if we
meaning
lose,
you
we're just
believe
throwing
that
the
men and
centrists
women
a
should have
bone. They need
equal
every
power,
bit of help they can
but
get.
through your behavior, you are self-interested and do not do things in your actual individual life that transfer power and wealth away
Thank
from
you,
yourself
Cannon Fodder,
and
by the way.
toward
Thank you a
women,
lot. I really appreciate you.
then
buddy.
you're not really a feminist. Because saying you're a feminist is not a feminist act. Saying you're a feminist signals to the women around you that it's safe to suck your penis or whatever.
What?
I said I don't want to talk about sexual stuff. I keep talking about sucking dicks. Fuck.
I know, it's a little
Katie,
weird,
you have to
dude.
stop me from doing that. Okay.
I will do that.
Well, it's a conversation about feminism. We can't talk about sucking dick.
Yeah,
What is
that's
it?
No.
Katie,
You gotta
stopping
fucking-
dicks
you
from
gotta-
getting
No, we're
sucked
not talking
since
about sex.
Okay. There's something
2023.
about Smith saying that the audience is wet that feels like it's going beyond.
I got it.
Okay. It just made me uncomfortable.
Okay.
I get
We
it.
already
On your
discussed the
behalf,
moderation.
I'm trying to look
There'll
out
be-
for you, dude.
There'll be no dick talk
Interesting.
and no pussy talk and no wet talk. Okay.
I don't want to
Let's move on.
sexually harass my orbiters.
Okay, great.
I-
What are you talking about? That's your entire business model.
I will keep
I
you
don't
from
feel
doing that.
very. I don't have a lot of sexual feelings for you.
I'm not sexually harassing you, Smith.
I
That's
will
how-
mute
that's how I'll
both
stop
of
myself.
you if you
Okay.
don't stop this.
Okay. Here's the thing. Like my objections to Katie's original message, saying that she was genuine. Saying that you're a feminist doesn't make you a feminist. I think if you're a woman, it maybe believing in feminism, if you're a woman, makes you a feminist because you're already self-interested. So you have acting on behalf of women and believing on behalf of women. I think you combine those two things,
See-
you've got a feminist.
And just going back to the point I was making earlier, like individual women can self-interestedly be anti-feminists. That's like a perfectly coherent stance you can take. It's a nasty stance to take, but it's perfectly valid, theoretically.
But a man should have to demonstrate through his actions
Oh my god.
that he is acting on behalf of women, because believing it or saying you believe it doesn't really fucking do anything. It's not meaningful. It's still self-interested. Saying you're a male feminist is self-interested
Okay.
in certain
More
situations.
free
I guess
flowing part of the
not in all.
more free
If you're-
more
if you're-
free flowing part of the conversation.
not in
right?
all.
This is the free. Now we're done with the
Okay,
definitions.
now I can
You guys
fucking thrive
go ahead.
because this fucking debate.
You can
shit-
ramble. Go ahead.
Okay. The problem with that philosophy is
I should say in progressive circles, if Donald Trump Jr. came out with like a stream tomorrow and was like, "I'm a male feminist," that would be an act. That would be a feminist act. That would be against his own interest. Okay. So if saying you're a feminist is
What?
in your own interest, you're not being a
Even by
feminist
his
by saying-
definition,
but
it
it's
wouldn't be,
possible
right? Like,
for other. I guess I'm more talking about like in our
Anyway.
circle.
Say again?
I said, even by his even through his lens, it wouldn't be a self-interest or against his self-interest for Donald Trump Jr. to come out as a male feminist. I mean, in a lot of right-wing circles, they will say,
No, you're right. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a critique that's often levied against like a lot of milquetoast lefty figures who make a lot of money. It's like you're only doing this because it's fashionable. In a lot of cases, it is. I don't think he would deny that. I think that would be, in fact, I think that's sort of a part of the implication. Well, he's trying to say that they're not
hard
real.
to tell.
So yeah.
Like we're mostly progressive.
All men are interested in the oppression of women, I thought. So isn't it all the same? I don't get the difference there. I think that the problem with that philosophy.
What?
Thank you for the
Well,
100
from the framework we set
SEK
earlier,
TV.
I think that
how much is that?
I don't know.
$5?
Let me find out. I don't want to like.
Everyone is
It
interested in the
feels
oppression
rude.
of
I'm not trying to look a
everyone
gift
but
horse in the mouth. I am kind of
gosh.
curious though. Hang on. So 100.
Don't smile, Dean. Thank you for the 8th month sub. Hype train level 4. Let's keep going to the moon.
That's a solid 10 American dollars.
Hey,
Thank you very
$10.
Much appreciated. Yeah.
Look, we're neck and neck, gang. Like it's a horse race, okay?
Run, you little horses.
sure,
Like if you could push a button to make everyone on Earth give you $1,
sure.
you might push it.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously.
I think that if you exclude men from being feminists like that, and you exclude them from self-defining as feminists, then what you're doing is you're forcing them to self-define in categories that, like, so what are their options? Now you're a men's rights advocate. Now you're a MAGTOW, or maybe you're a red pill or an incel. Now you're ostracized. You're not part of the conversation, which I believe the conversation about feminism is a collective conversation about gender and about deconstructing these roles that we have and making it equal. And I think that's a collaborative social effort. I don't think you can have that from a one-sided perspective whatsoever. I think that gender abolitionist gender abolitionism, which I consider myself, is something that is under the umbrella of feminism. And if by your definition, it's utterly untenable to call gender abolitionist a feminist.
Are you a gender abolitionist out of curiosity? What's your stance on that?
It would take a bit of time to explain it, but my general stance is that the gender categorizations that we have that put biological males and females into specific social roles is itself very historically and culturally contingent. That being said, they're still real in the sense that like we are actually socialized into them. So, for example, I may be a gender abolitionist, but it would not for that reason say that assigned males at birth who are transitioning to female presenting or vice versa are less valid. They're just operating within like a specific cultural frame of reference.
You could push a button,
which I think would be better to move beyond.
Okay, so just to be clear, if you could push a button and gender norms, gender as a concept, a societal construct was gone, would you push it or no?
Well, here's the thing though. Like I don't think that like gender roles are necessarily bad. I just don't think they should be dictated by biological sex. So, for example, my issue with biological males being forced into the meat grinder of war through conscription and things like that is not because I think that the rougher and stronger people are more appropriate to that kind of task, but that I don't think that we should be identifying the people who are suited to that kind of task by reference to their genital sets. And I think that it's really callous when you're putting like what's the argument against putting women in combat generally that like gender essentials will typically field? Well, it's because these are like the gentler, softer, more like humane part of mankind, and they shouldn't be like put into that kind of situation. But what if you're literally doing that and the only thing that's permitting you to do so is that, oh, well, they've got like a dangly bit between their legs? Like, come on, that seems to me pretty shallow and silly. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Jay Spoon, and thank you, Parallax. Tell Wick you are the sun and he is the ick, please. No. I have to go to the washroom. If I just let this run, are you cool with that?
Yeah, I don't care. Go ahead.
Okay.
Thing. Period. You can't have that. Feminists cannot have gender abolitionism if men cannot self-identify as feminists. And that's a different point than the one I was just saying. Why not? So gender is something that's a horrifying experience for everybody.
But I said males.
Males.
To be clear, Chad, it's not a horrifying experience for everyone. It's just not
for males.
Not for me anyway.
Men, males, men. We agreed to say men.
Okay, but well, then you're saying gender, which makes me think you're distinguishing between sex and gender, which makes me
it can be
saying males
under certain conditions, but it's just not
feminism.
necessarily.
Is feminism about gender? I thought we said feminism was about sex. Feminism is for females, not for trans.
No
women.
one. That wasn't in any of you guys' definition.
I think that
it was.
Feminism.
I started out. I started. Wait.
Who was
feminism for? Before we continue, because this is important.
Let him talk.
Is feminism?
I think it's for everybody. But let me explain.
Gang, we did it. Level 3.
You're trying to stop me from saying what I have to say.
Is it the advocacy for people with XX chromosomes, or is it the advocacy for people who think they're women?
Okay, Smeth, you can talk.
No, it's not for. I'm trying to. I have a bigger than just. I know you're the one saying that it's just for females.
This is why this is the first thing I asked you, because I'm like, is feminism for women or females or trans women or guys who like being in women's prisons?
Feminism's for everyone.
My definition. I know that I'm bad at just setting clear definitions. I don't think it's a female versus male thing. I think feminism is for everybody. I think that women are females, and I think that feminism is for everybody.
I thought feminism was for the equality between two groups.
Yes.
Are you saying there aren't two groups?
There are two groups, but the thing. Okay,
now
let me finish what I had to say. Let me finish what I had to say. Could you just listen?
What are those two groups,
Max?
I'm just
men and women.
Wondering.
Good. I feel like I missed a good part.
The reason that I'm bringing up gender,
Max. What I missed.
So like 20 maxes on the counter. Okay, so 20 maxes to the counter, and gender as a horrifying experience for everyone, according to Smeth. Smeth also made a very good point, right? That I forgot because they started yelling at each other. But it was a good point, and I clapped for it and everything. I forget what he said, but yeah.
Smith, there is hope for you yet, apparently.
X. The reason I'm bringing up gender
21
is because gender, as it should and rightfully is defined as a social construct, blah, 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 is the thing that causes the differences in how we treat men and women. And gender is a horrifying experience for all of us.
True.
So if we want to,
are you horrified by your experience with gender?
And that means that women cannot just abolish.
Say again.
Are you horrified by your experience with gender?
Sometimes a little bit, yeah. It causes born biological males, and indeed to a certain extent, even a lot of trans men, to act in a very callous and antisocial manner. It engenders a lot of like very inorganic types of relationships between people of the same sex and people of the opposite. It's just there are a lot of problems that follow through from it. If you look at like the history of poetry and drama, which is largely a whole lot of people, acting out the elaborate chains of violence and repercussion as a result of things like sexual jealousy and offenses to manhood and so on and so forth. It's like a deeply traumatic thing. It seems petty, like when we're talking about people acting sort of thuggish at the club or something, but it has real and widespread consequences. And that even goes once again like to the level of what we were talking about earlier, like the whole idea of hustle culture. Especially like a few decades ago, where if you're the guy, your job is to just slave away at some mindless,
be on the grind,
cynical tax, until there's nothing left of you. You just have a nice picket fence and no soul left, and everybody in your family hates you. Like that's a traumatic, horrific thing.
Interesting. I don't know if I'd
Oh,
use the word.
there-
Oh god. Yeah, I
No,
just.
no, please.
Yeah, I just disagree that horrifying is the best way to describe that. I think that like there are aspects of it which, as you've outlined, definitely can be under certain conditions horrific. But these blanket statements, this is all I'm objecting to, is the blanket statement.
I'll concede to
Yeah.
that. And indeed, like, there are people for whom, and this once again like speaks to what I was saying before. Like,
Sure,
I'm
sure.
not sure I would necessarily abolish gender itself as a category. I would more want how we like slot people in gendered terms.
Well, no
to-
doubt. Like, I think one of the problems that men are having today is because we are under a kind of a gender renaissance, for lack of a better term, where we are exploring and
gender science.
gender science, indeed. We are redefining what it means to be the gender roles and who fits under the gender roles and who can fit under the gender roles. The problem with that, one of the side effects of that, even though I think that that's a good thing in a discussion we need to have, is that men, in a lot of cases, feel purposelessness. Whereas before they had a purpose, whether it was good or bad, right? And we can recognize the ways in which this purpose was harmful and was bad. It was a purpose, and it gave them something to identify with. And because of the how we've kind of redefined everything, I think a lot of men and young men especially just feel adrift, and they're going down these red pill paths, the dark paths. And as I was rambling, 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙, thank you for the $5. So appreciate you. But yeah, it's we need something there. That's why I'm not a gender abolitionist. That's why I'm against gender abolition. I think we need purpose, and it's one of the ways to find it. So
I agree with you. However, I think what's taking place there is you actually have a whole lot of men who are being left behind and unaddressed in a society that is sort of cynically taking half measures to alter gender roles. And so what's actually happening isn't so much that the way we treat gender is changing, so much as exceptional cases of crossovers are taking place, whereas all the toxic elements sort of embedded in the original stratification sort of remain. And so you have women taking part in the same toxic hustle culture as men, and they are effectively just acting more like men in the patriarchal system. And I think that, and the flip side of that as well, I think that leads to a lot of what you're describing. I think that's really toxic.
Macbeth is spurred to kill the king when his wife is like, "You ain't a man." And yes, that is true. But carry on.
Was that from your chat, or did you just pull
from my
that out of
chat?
your pocket?
From my
Okay.
chat. I won't take Lord Fungus' valor. I won't steal his valor.
Demon Mama says, I think it's fair to note that gender is largely traumatic for women. There are men who escape the horror, others who don't, but most women are tortured by gender as it exists. I think that's actually a fairly good point. I think it's also true of women who even succeed in historically male spaces.
Sure. As someone who isn't a woman, I can't speak to that. So I'll just take your word. So
Let's crossplay.
Our own gender. We all need to abolish our own gender, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Like it's. So do you agree? It's a horrifying experience to be a male.
I would like to push back against something you said a few minutes ago about
Can
how
you
my
answer that one yes or no question real quick, and then do that?
You're never going to let me do it.
Oh my god.
I will. No, you just answer it yes or no, and then do it immediately.
Could you please repeat the question?
There we go.
Do you think it's a horrifying experience as a male to have the gendered experience of being
We're
a man?
having this conversation while I'm playing a game where I'm basically being a male escort for the female
fair.
damsel in distress character.
That's a horrifying experience to watch. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that bad at it.
Yeah.
You said that my
Uh-huh.
definition of feminism precludes gender abolitionism,
Hmm.
which makes me think that the thing I wanted to iron out immediately at the outset of the conversation has become wrinkly again. So I want to
Oh, we got
re-iron it.
wrinkles.
I
Okay.
agree, by the way, with that. I
Okay.
think there was a breakdown there, so we
'Cause
can
it
address
felt,
it.
yeah, it felt like early on we were saying feminism is the advocacy of equal power between two groups. And the first thing I want to ask you is, what are those two groups? Is it people who identify as women and people who identify as men, or is it biological males and biological females?
Okay.
And I thought we agreed it was between biological males and biological females. which would mean that gender abolitionism would have no conflict with my definition of feminism or male interest.
This is one of those cases where intersex people actually do come into play, because we're ultimately talking about how people perform and are recognized in society that actually distinguishes these groups. Especially since, again, like you can have like cis women or cis men who, for various biological reasons, lack even the reproductive roles that are historically assigned to each. So this is kind of a silly point.
Yes.
Okay, very quickly before you talk, Smith.
Wait. Why is
Wait.
it no? Okay.
I'm gonna let you guys solve this together. If you want my
Together.
input about what I think happened there, because I was there too, it was the beginning of the conversation. Let me know, and then I'll say what I think. Otherwise,
I think I
I'm
was
letting
trapped.
you guys handle this.
I think I was trapped into your framework of a one group versus the other. I think that the problem, I think, yes, there are males and females, and it's imbalanced. It's imbalanced into those two categories. The imbalance of power is separate. The imbalance of power is separated into these two categories. Women have certain.
It could be separated into people who identify as men have more power than people who identify as women. And
no.
Yes, they do. On average, they do. Most people who are males identify as men.
Yeah.
So whichever way you slice it, if you use self-ID or if you use biological sex, in both cases, men have more power than women. But it's still, as we go into the conversation, it's still important to figure out which lens are we using. Are we using a lens of biological sex, or are we using a lens of self-ID?
I'm talking biological sex, yes, but in doing that, you're forcing me to do it into the. So you're saying yes. So one group has more power than the other.
I'm not forcing you to do anything.
No, yes, you are. I'm trying to explain that. You're putting me in. So yes, I
would you do
agree. I agree that the thing that separates us is biological sex. I'm not trying to force.
That's not the question. Self-ID also separates us.
Sure. Okay, yeah, but I don't think
both things separate us. They're we
have these two categories, and on top of biological sex, there are trans people that self-ID and kind of overlap in weird ways.
It's a different lens.
Yes, it's an entire different lens.
Okay, so you're
not talking
not
about though. That's not what I'm talking about.
You're not answering my question.
What is your question?
When you and I talk about feminism, we are talking about advocacy for one group of people that has less power than another group to rise up so that they're equal.
Right. You keep telling me to define it that way, and I'm saying you've helped me to figure out that. You know what? I really don't agree with that. I think that the reason that there is an imbalance, I keep trying to say these things, and you keep cutting off.
When you say
imbalance, the reason.
When you say imbalance,
when you say, you're really trying to say, shut up, Seth. I don't.
Okay, Smeth. Pro tip: go deeper, not louder. You're breaking your mic.
I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
Okay. Smith.
That's true.
I think that the reason that there is an imbalance of power.
Are we dropping the M or?
Hello? Did you cut out?
You can speak. No, he didn't cut out. I muted him.
She muted him finally.
Now.
Hooray!
The reason that there's an imbalance of power between these two groups, no matter which lens you use, is because of our. I think that we need to, if we want to fix the imbalance of power. Fuck! I could have said it so clearly a second ago, but it's like debating like a really smart toddler that has all the like tools of being a toddler. So like all the annoyance and all the distraction, but also like an adult with like an adult mind.
Oh.
I think he really knows how to like stop you right when you're there about to say something good, and then he's like, boom. It's good. Orbiters. Okay, you want to try again, Smith, or?
Yeah, I think that if you want to deconstruct the oppression of women I think the oppression of women cannot be separated from the oppression of men. This is why I'm saying I'm not agreeing with your definition of feminism now, because I think the oppression of women and the oppression of men both have to happen at the same time. I don't think that they can be separated. Yeah.
It actually was in your definition of feminism. The feminism
thank
is just
you.
fighting the patriarchy.
Thank you for ungaslighting me.
No, you said that. People just
Yeah. So if you want to uplift women, you also have to uplift men. And uplifting men comes in smaller forms and in different forms. And in some ways, you have to put men down. And in some ways, you have to put women down. And in more ways, women will be uplifted. And in more ways, men will be put down. But the conversations about the issues that we have with our place in society, the men's rights activist conversations, they all need to be happening in the same table. They're the same conversation. They're the same topic.
Oh, they grow up so.
You're unmuted.
Oh.
Oh, he's doing
Nothing really to say.
Yeah.
On that, other than that, yeah, pretty much. I mostly agree. Smeth worded it weirdly. I would word it differently.
Very weirdly. But I mean, like, look, compared to where he was, like at the fundraiser thing, like, oh my god, this is night and day.
You know,
Sorry,
they
Smith,
learn.
I'm so sorry. I was asking you not for your definition. I'm so sorry. Not for your definition of feminism, but okay, when you say patriarchy, or you say power imbalances, or you say women, we're talking about two groups of people, right? When you say.
Yes.
Okay.
The patriarchy isn't a group of people.
Those two groups of
Wait,
people?
stop.
Yeah.
The patriarchy isn't like this council of old men who are ruling the world secretly from behind, the masks, right? No, the patriarchy is a system. It's institutions. It's culture. It's society. It's one of the reasons it's hard to deal with is because it is faceless. It's not something that is like some council, right, ruling above us all, kind of hands down to us. It's enforced. Go on.
Here's the way to put it. So it's kind of like how democracy isn't the actual, like, constant, ongoing control of society by the people. It's the overarching principle through which all of society is conceived, as if that must be, in some sense, assumed to be downstream from the will of the people. That's actually not a very good example, but like it's the assumption baked into a lot of our institutions and whatnot. That's sort of assumptions that sort of imply that kind of gender stratification. That's how I would put it. But then I always put things in ways that apparently it's just more difficult to understand than before. So, pressing on.
Biological males and biological females, are they self-identified men and women, or do you reserve the right to switch back and forth between those two lenses whenever it suits you?
Okay, I'm confused. I need you to explain to me why you think that I'm switching.
May I? Because you are.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
Okay. So I think the issue is this. At Smith, you're working of a framework that you accept gender as a thing. Basically, what Max is asking is very simple. When we're saying men and women or females and males, but we're also decided that we're using them interchangeably, but you have the concept of gender in mind. You're making that automatic separation when you're talking about gender. Max is asking you, there are two groups. You're saying under the patriarchy, under your definition, they're both oppressed and they both need to be elevated in different ways. But he wants you to specify what are those two groups. The distinction between them is determined as. Is it biological or is it a gender distinction? How do we put...
When we hit the hour and a half mark, Wick, do we want to jump by an hour?
Up to you. Look, you were in the driver's seat for where we're going and when we're going. I'm here to react and hang out for a bit. So yeah.
Okay.
One in each of the groups.
Okay. Yeah.
The reason I'm bringing this up now and why I'm a little miffed is that you said easy peasy, making it sound like, okay, we'll just use biological sex. Great. But then,
I think there was a miscommunication there.
But then a few dozen minutes later, you said, this conflicts with my goal of gender abolitionism, which is not related to biological sex.
There was a miscommunication
No,
there.
okay,
when
that's where I
Henry-
disagree. That sentence that you just said, that is where I disagree. I don't think that gender is not related to sex. I think gender.
I didn't say it's not. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it's
Thank
not
you.
related.
Thank you
in
for your
any
fucking apology. I don't forgive you. So stop
when
telling
you
me.
say, okay, when you say related, I understand that gender is related to sex as a topic. I meant they're not the same.
Right, they're not the same.
Okay.
So if we want to be
Great.
talking,
So
if
we're
we
not,
want to
so
talk,
we're not talking. So if we're not talking about so if I'm talking about biological, do you not see the disconnect here? If I'm talking about biological sex, and I say
Mhm.
that feminism is about the advocacy for females, biological females, and then you say that conflicts with my or your conception of male and female interests conflicts with my goal of gender abolitionism. I'm not talking about gender, so no, it doesn't.
If you want, no, I think we are. Like they are related, and they're utter. Okay, listen.
Oh no.
If you want to talk,
asked
if
a
you want to talk,
with only two choices, and yet
if you want to talk, if you want to talk,
like Max really wants to have a conversation about some kind of turfy argument, whereas at least this is I'm doing a little mind reading here, but bear with me. It feels to me like he's wanting to bring it into trans women can't be feminists or something. It seems like that's where he's really struggling to go.
Well, that's consistent with his positions for the last little while. Like I don't think. I don't know. I mean, he gets along with Lav, so I mean that tells you a lot by itself.
Fair.
It seems like the whole like conversation on male feminism is in itself is itself a bad faith byway to get to that. I don't know. This whole thing doesn't make any sense.
Yes, indeed.
About sex, not the kind you don't want to talk about. If you want to talk about sex, you have to talk about gender.
Who is top left? Top left is Katee, who is the one sane person in this desert of madness.
Abolitionism to get there.
No.
I think the differences in how we treat men and women
but we'll see how long
gendered.
that lasts.
That's true, and yet
we force the gender.
You just answer the question. Are we talking about males and females?
Sure, let me rephrase that. Smeth's actually not doing too badly right now. I'm actually somewhat impressed.
I think
how is this played out different? Can you give me an example of how these two conversations would be different?
Sure. If we were talking about males and females, when I say males should act against their own interests individually if they're going to be called feminists, then when you bring up gender abolitionism, I would say, what the fuck are you talking about? I thought we agreed we weren't talking about self-ID, which is what happened.
Yeah, that makes
if
no
we had
sense
agreed.
to me. And maybe I'm stupid, but like that doesn't, like self-ID doesn't. I'm not talking about like. I'm talking about forced ID, like that's not self-ID. Like,
by the
I'm
way,
saying,
Smeth, if you're watching still, hiccups aside, the level of progress we're seeing over such a short period of time, whatever else you may be, you're not stupid, my dude.
You're a male, and the reason that you consider yourself as a man isn't because you chose to be a man and self-ID'd as a man. It's because people told you were a man, and so you had all this shit put onto you.
You made it sound like the whole conversation would break down, and that your categories break down. You're saying feminism is for everybody. I don't think that's true. I think feminism is the advocacy for females.
But that's the dissonance between you guys' definitions. He's saying feminism is for everybody. It just
even if it is for even if it is no even if it is for everybody, even if it's for everybody, he's still describing a power relationship between two groups of people, one being males and the other being females.
Okay. Smith, do you
and
want
the
to
thing
respond,
that okay
or do you want me to
yes
comment?
So the thing that causes the power imbalance is the thing that
imbalance between what and
hey,
what?
Chat, Smith not kind of dumb. Intelligence is not a tone of voice.
Males and females. The thing that causes the power imbalance between males and females is
but it's not
gender.
That's fine. I agree with that. That's fine.
Okay, then that's why gender abolitionism is the thing that should be, in my mind, that is the pinnacle of feminism.
No, I don't.
Okay,
I
but you
disagree
said
with
it
Smeth here.
contradicted
All right,
what I
let's
was
see.
saying.
Yeah, I don't think that gender abolitionism is this peak of feminism. I think that the gender roles, while yes, they are, the patriarchy uses gender roles to enforce or to socially kind of like pressure these differences, and not just socially, but in some cases like institutionally and legislatively. I don't think that's gender's fault. I think gender is the tool, but we could use gender to
I'm gonna
bring
push
more
back on you a
equity.
little bit, just using
Please.
your own clarification from earlier. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if we're insisting that the patriarchy isn't like a cabal of particular men or a particular community of men,
Yes, yes.
but is sort of like I guess an ideological construct that's kind of that kind of inflects how we socialize ourselves or something like that. Does that make enough sense?
Yeah, I know. I'm
Um,
following you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Carry on.
yeah. I think in that case, calling it a tool is a bit of a mistake because that seems to attribute that kind of agency once again.
Fair. No, I get what what
Yeah.
you're saying. I get why you're saying it. Perhaps a better word, right, would be it's the see. I'm trying not to imply agency.
How about like
The
a
vehicle,
method
the
a method we're kind of like falling into, like it's
the
like
vector
it's
through
basically
which.
vector. There you
Yeah,
go.
the
That's
vector
good.
through which the institutional patriarchy, uh, the cancer enters the body, right, of our society. It is the cough, right, that the patriarchy does, so we get the COVID or the sexism and things like that. I think that like it is something that this like the concept of patriarchy has hijacked in a way. But again, getting rid of it is like having a boat. You're in the ocean. You have a boat. It has a few holes in it. That's not ideal, but you don't blow up the boat. You fix it, right? You patch up the holes. You make the adjustments. Blowing up the boat is not going to help. Anyway, that's my only.
I see what you're saying. I'd push back on that a little bit. So while I agree, you would go for a more like piecemeal approach, and you would correct society rather than explode the thing and hope that you're able to put the pieces back into a more benign nature after the fact. By the same token, I think insisting that uh, criticizing the category of gender by itself or the spread of accepted gender uh, like slots that are kind of prevalent in one society itself is akin to like blowing up the boat when you're in the middle of the ocean. I think that's loading an amount of importance onto them that is itself part and parcel of the ideological assumptions underpinning patriarchal society that doesn't actually bear the weight of scrutiny. I see what you're saying with respect to there being, if I take your meaning correctly,
Go ahead.
that we still need like different roles for different people in
Yes.
society. There are different people who are suited for different things. I think we both
Well,
agree that
no. If I may interject real quick, it's not
Sure.
that we need it; it's that it will naturally occur, right? Because of the way humans categorize ourselves, we're a pack species, right? In a lot of ways, there are just going to be different roles that we assign, and so even if we abolish gender today and we could push that magic button, in a short amount of time, there would be entirely new categories of gender.
I agree.
That would
Now, I would clarify this way. So even if, by the way, like let's take for granted that the current spread of like cis to gender nonconforming or trans people, and of like uh, pan to gay to straight, et cetera, remained consistent under any circumstances. There would indeed even still be, to a certain extent, like a correlation between like sex characteristics
yes,
and
yes.
gender roles in some cases. In all likelihood, it would be very unlikely for this to become like an even, one like perfectly evenly spread across the population. Anyways, by gender abolition, I don't think is meant the abolition of gender roles categorically. Some people will disagree with the rhetoric of this, but this is where I'm going with this. It's not the statement that there will be no specific roles or there should be no specific roles for specific types of people, however that is construed. It's that the orientation towards gender in society is not reformative, but is itself purely
you.
critical.
When Smeth
So-
says it, which do you think he means? Because I'm gonna be, I'll bet you
Mm-hmm.
$5, right, that he means just getting rid of gender. I'll find out Monday, right? But I think that when he says gender abolition, what he actually means isn't the more theoretical kind of theory-brained academic version. I'm pretty sure he means, and he can, if he's still here, he can correct me. Just getting rid of the gender, but.
Well, I speak in a very convoluted way, so I wouldn't even characterize this necessarily as academic brain. What I'm pointing to, though, is that I think the general angle of feminism, I think we can both agree, at its heart is a critique of gender norms that slot women into this role and men into this role. And so I think insofar as the spirit of feminism and all of its manifestations is a critique of those sort of traditional gender stratifications, or that traditional gender stratification, I think it would be logical to characterize the abolition of these stratifications as itself like the end result. And I think that's fair. I do think there are feminists who actually do take on the position, as 𝕾𝖍 does, for example, that men and women are different factions, and you're engaged in like a kind of class war with men, and therefore feminism is advocacy for team women. And so, to that extent, if like I think that's kind of the position that Max is taking. And I wouldn't want to call them like not feminists per se, because there isn't a rule that says that this is a feminist and this isn't. But if we take like the common thread between the different feminisms that have emerged historically over the past 100 or so years, it seems by my lights that that's the one that's truer to the spirit of the original move, if that makes sense.
It does. I'd have to think
And
more on this.
that's sort of like how I like distinguish between
Sure.
right and left. It's not because there's like a set of policies or attitudes or whatever that actually distinguishes the left from the right in all cases, but taken like the history of the movement as a whole, what links them all together is the attitude of critique to existing structures
Noted.
and so forth. Yeah.
About
I think that the
male and
thing that
female
it contradicts. No, that's not what it contradicts. What it contradicts is that men cannot self-ID as feminists. Because if men can't self-ID as feminists, we're not actually having a gender abolitionist conversation. It's like having a. Here's a stupid metaphor you're not going to like. It's like having.
Why? How? Why?
Because then what you're doing is you're creating a designated patient, and you're not like so.
No.
If you want to solve for gender is not something only women can solve.
Here's the problem. You don't disagree with what I said. You just don't think I should have said it.
What?
May I?
Why do
May
you
I
think
try
that?
to resolve this?
Because you're not. I'm trying to talk about what's true, and you're trying to talk about what is a good way to talk about this that would be productive.
That's not what I'm.
May
No, I
try
don't
to
agree.
resolve this?
I don't think I'm trying to do that. I think
you
I'm
are.
saying what's true.
See, look, this
Okay,
is
how is it true?
this is feminism as
logically
MrGirl sees it.
that if I say males
Feminism with Mr. Girl
self-identifying as
characteristics.
feminists
Exactly.
is meaningless unless they are willing to act against
And
their
this
own
is feminism
individual
as Smeth sees
interests.
it.
How does that logically conflict with your gender
Okay.
abolitionism?
Okay, so you agreed earlier before, and you did it before when going. You agreed it's a horrifying experience to have the gender of man forced on you, and that's forced on you because of your sex. And if you want to advocate if you want to advocate again, not right now. Wait until after.
Prescriptive answer about what would be ideal, what would be the ideal framing and way to talk about this. But I'm talking about a logical framing, a descriptive answer about what is happening. And you're concerned that I'm going to alienate men away from feminism by saying, you're saying they're going to turn into incels if you say that. That's a prescription. You're not saying you disagree with me logically or descriptively. You're saying you think I'm damaging relations between men and women by talking about
here's another
it
place
this
we
way.
disagree, because I don't.
So
think
you don't
that
like my tweet.
You're,
it's not that you disagree with it.
No, that's not true. Because what you're implying is there is a fundamental truth about feminism, and I'm saying the thing that is yes, exactly. And so I don't agree with that. I'm saying that the I'm
No,
saying
no,
what?
not
Wait.
fundamentally.
That's why I
Logical,
defined it. This is why I
interconnecting
defined
logic.
it. This is why I
Thank you, Lily Tensions, for the $10 Canadian.
defined it earlier as like stupidly. I agree because it's too vague as if as their gender as. That's why I defined feminism as like a therapy, because I think that there is no like there's no God-given truth of what feminism is. Feminism is the solution to the problem.
That I'm not saying it's not the God-given truth. I'm saying it doesn't make any fucking goddamn sense.
Feminism is whatever the solution is.
That
What?
doesn't.
What
make
does that
sense.
mean?
Why?
Yeah,
Because
no, Max
there
is
has
right
to
here.
be
What
a
does that
solution
mean?
to a
Yeah.
problem. And for it to be
Okay,
a
so look, I'm halfway with Smeth on this. I've been consistently halfway with Smeth for a lot of this. If he's construing feminism as like therapy on culture, like sort of like an intervention on a society whose ideological presuppositions have run amok, and those are bad. Okay, I can see that. The way he's phrasing it, it just seems like a tautology or like a slogan, and it's not. It isn't making sense in the context of the conversation
At all, yeah.
at all.
problem, you have to know what the problem is, and
Gender.
multiple people have to agree on what the problem is.
Well, no, the
And
problem-
You're using
okay.
gender as a stand-in for the inequality between males
Okay,
and
here's
females.
here's something that you could retort against Smith with. And I think this would actually work to the favor of what you were saying earlier. Gender is a problem if the gender roles people are slotting into are either socially dysfunctional or they're harmful to the people who are being slotted in. They could be entirely ideological constructs, and they could be perfectly healthy. We have a lot of these things. Human rights are a social construct. The notion of humanity, of human beings as having something that like bears specific consideration as opposed to vegetables or insects or whatever. This is a social construct. There's nothing in nature that says that we have to treat each other as equals or as things with their own intrinsic value. But we're socialized into doing so, and I think we mostly agree that that's a positive thing. Gender can't just, it's not enough to just say that gender is the problem. You have to like identify the specific problems that gender is a thing, because it
can
is
have
just a social thing. Yeah, you have to
Good
identify the problems.
constructs, and you can have bad constructs. And if
Exactly.
you argue that currently gender is constructed poorly, you can perhaps provide ways that we can reconstruct or readjust gender to not be. In addition to the elements that you mentioned that makes it dysfunctional, and etc., I would say I would add one. I would add any kind of social constructed role around gender that you can not opt out of or not adjust is probably one we want to change. If someone wants to be a different gender or present as a different gender, I think we should have room within whatever system we come up with to allow for it.
Which
True.
itself
Yeah.
is also, to be clear, like that's also presuming other social constructs too, which is again like the point. Like these things are to be judged in their context, not just as categorically good or bad. None of this stuff actually follows that way. Like nature doesn't dictate these things to us. These
True.
are like human invented things across the board.
That is the problem that feminism is trying to solve.
Yes.
You have to agree that it's a problem. You have to be anti-patriarchy and pro-equality. Equality between whom? Males and females.
Females. Yes.
Okay. So I am of the opinion that it is illogical to call someone a feminist if they are a male and they do not ever act against their own individual interests.
What?
I'd be
I'm not
curious
saying
to
you
ask
shouldn't do it
Max
because it's
Max.
wrong. I'm saying it.
I'd be
Max.
curious to ask Max what interests I have to act against if I wanted to call myself a feminist. Me personally as an individual, not men generally, but me personally as an individual man. What aspects of my condition, my living situation, my social place in society, what am I getting now that feminism would mean I no longer get. I'm curious what he'd say.
Well, I would assume it's going to be the flip side of something like 𝕬𝖎, right?
Mm.
Where she's gonna. I haven't followed her that closely, but she takes like the stance that trans women are sort of men invading women's spaces and taking like the privileges allotted to women in a gender stratified society or something like that. I would imagine that's his position, and so he's taking sort of the flip side of that, which is that men have like a particular role in society that comes with its own privileges and benefits and whatnot, and the only thing that you're doing when you become a feminist is you're adopting a position that's antithetical to those. I don't know how he gets along with 𝕬𝖎, that being the case, but again, this is a guy who self-describes as like raping someone.
And just FYI, just a kind of a housekeeping issue, I do have to go in about 20 minutes, unfortunately.
Totally
so
fine.
we're not going to get through this.
Honestly, no. We'll call it then too. I've been going for like almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
Works.
So. Last chance to beat the Squids, gang. I think we're about $10 behind at this point, but it's neck and neck. So if you want to gift a few subs so we can overtake the Squids, now's the time. But go on.
Don't you dare chat. The
Are you gonna let Sunday tell you what to do?
So if we're the Squids, Demon Mama's the Imps.
Well, people don't like when it. Like I am Wick, so my team is the Wickers. I know people don't like that, but I mean it is. It's just.
I think. Did you ever see The Lighthouse?
Ooh, no. What was it about? Remind me, because I think I may have.
It's Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe trapped in a lighthouse and going mad. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out at some point.
Okay, well, Willem Dafoe self-describes, because he's the lighthouse keep, the older one. He describes as a wiki. I think you should go with that.
A wiki. Okay.
The wikis.
The wikis.
I don't know.
The
Thanks
wicked.
for the $10, Rick.
The wicked gang.
We're winning.
Oh no! Oh no, gang.
We're wicking.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
Thank you, 𝕬𝖎, for the $49.99 US. Not gonna happen.
What is going on?
Not
okay,
today.
come on.
The scouring
team.
of the Shire at the very end.
Come on, team.
Just as it is stupid to call yourself a trans ally or a white ally of people of color or whatever group you're trying to say that you are helping, if you are not willing to act against your own individual material interests, I don't think that you are actually an advocate for that group.
Okay. Smeth, you can respond. I'm just saying,
but
you let me know if you want my opinion, okay? Because I don't want to insert myself.
So taking away, so here's the I'm drawing.
Yo, I don't know about that. 10 gifted subs
reality of your
by Spicy Cannon Fodder.
Oh,
here we go. It's a race. It's a race.
Body and your ability to self-identify.
Come on, chat. 15 minutes to go.
Advocates for the biological reality of a different type of body.
I don't believe in you. Your superiority is
creating a loophole
knowledge.
To allow self-ID for gender in this discussion. It's because you want to keep a loophole for self-ID for feminism. And I'm saying they're the same.
I don't think that I'm creating a loophole. I am acknowledging that gender exists, and I am saying. That
By the way,
gender,
Smeth, come on and chat sometime. I'm liking your performance here. Got some hang-ups, but you're doing pretty damn good actually. Better than I was expecting.
Yo, Sleepy with 5 more. Oh, we are pulled ahead. Sleepy, 5 more gift subs in the chat. Oh, look at you.
Ian Kinzel, thank you for the $5. Wick asks if I'll let PS tell me what to do. Yes, always. Damn straight.
But are not related to what I'm fucking saying. You're turning the conversation into a big mess, which is what anybody wants, which is what everybody does whenever they want to create loopholes for fucking gender, for gender ideology. You are smuggling gender ideology into this I know you want to abolish gender. You want to abolish self-ID.
You want to abolish God and the
yet
family.
Preserve self-ID for feminists.
No, preserve self-ID as the enemy. As the you need to contain
not self-ID of feminism though. You're okay with people self-IDing as feminists.
Don't be mean, guys. Look, hey, look.
Interesting.
And Smith is not doing the job I would do on stream, which of course would be impeccable and unbeatable, and this would have been over in like 30 minutes because I would have left. But You know, like he was like doing like the incel shit not a year ago, and now look where my boy's at. He's doing wonderful. Okay, you got to meet people where they are. Thank you, Rick Sire, for the $5 US.
Reason for being okay with
Interesting.
self
So when
ID.
you say so when you say self ID,
Your days
you
are
mean
as
all
numbered as
self-ID.
your subs.
And you're
Rick.
saying that our identity
actually
You're
pretty
talking
good,
about
though.
two
Don't
kinds
count
of
that.
self-ID. You don't need to bring other kinds in. There's two kinds. Do you self-identify as a feminist, and do you
You're
self-identify
the one that
as
confused
a...
them.
Bout Tree Fitty, thank you. Sunday made me do it. Hi, and thank you for the 12 US. Not today, Wick.
Omnipotent, thank you for the bits. Come on, gang. We gotta get more. We gotta get some super chats. We gotta get. Come on, the Wicked can do it. I believe in you. I do.
Give Wick some pity subs,
Right.
chat.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
go.
it makes any sense.
Yeah, I'll take them. I'll
So
take the
this
pity one.
conversation-
Where is your god now? Not today. $99 US from 𝕾𝖎𝖙. There is no
99
god,
US,
only
come
the
on.
old man of the
Hey,
desert.
fair. Where are my Oilers at? Where are the strongest Wick Warriors? Come on, and we need. That was a time. Look, there are a time, right? The clouds are dark. The enemy is at our gates. Who will stand? Who will stand against the hordes that beset us? When you are called upon to account for where you were when the squids came a-calling, what will you tell your children and grandchildren? Will you tell them that you stood by and did nothing, cowering behind our walls, while our strong warriors, such as Sleepy, such as Cannon Fodder, they gave their all? Or will you proudly say, I stood and I gave what I could by donating to the dictatorship? What will you be able to say?
Wick? Wicks are doused at dawn, and it's the sun that rises.
Is not actually about, Max, let me finish, I beg of you. It's not actually about feminism or male interests. It's about self-ID. Can someone self-ID as a certain things in this case? Can you self-identify yourself as a feminist under certain conditions? Can you grant yourself that definition? And Smith uses
Thanks for the subs.
Smith uses a gender-related perspective, and he is self-IDs as a feminist. I would call him a feminist, a better feminist than me, might I add.
But that's not self-ID.
Wait, I'm helping by giving him the ID.
I don't think you are helping. I think you're giving Smith
Max,
a
Max,
thousand other
I swear to God,
off-ramps to not have to face the fundamental
Max,
problem with what he's saying.
Max. I will. Don't worry.
We're maxing out
Let
on
me
maxes today.
have my full sentence.
Hold
okay?
on, Max.
I thought you were the moderator.
She is, and she because I started talking, she shut up. So,
yeah, when you talk, she shuts up, but when I talk, she yells at me. Interesting.
I like that.
Feminism in a nutshell. Thank you for the $10, Rude Mud Crab. I don't like taking sides, but I believe this positive shift deserves positive reinforcement. And yet you are super chatting to me. I don't believe you.
Look, if you want to balance,
your actions are speaking.
Equality. Can you self-identify as a equality between the squids and the wickers?
You can self-identify as whatever you like.
Are you going to actionably show us, not tell us? I'm just throwing that out there. Like,
excuse me.
I bet you do. It sounds nice.
Do you believe me when I say that I don't understand why you think what I'm saying is stupid? I really don't.
I don't think you want to understand, or you would be trying to walk me through it.
I am trying.
Temperance Quill coming from behind with $10. His assumption that advocating means having to give us something up is flawed. Agreed. But yes, $10 to say that wise words and get us a little closer.
Wise words indeed. 5 more minutes. Then we'll call it.
Yeah, 5 more minutes, gang. This is the final countdown.
Okay,
come on, let's do it.
Friends, show Wick some love. We're leaving them in the dust.
It's
in the dust.
Yo, that $100 is gonna be hard to catch up to.
The problem is, I'm both trying to help you walk me through it, but I'm also fighting you at the same time.
Right. I agree.
$10
Because
Australian?
I want both.
Because equality from rude
I-
mud
well,
crab?
It feels like
Agreed.
you're leaving yourself a lot of wiggle room in a lot of these definitions of things to make it so you don't have to make a fundamental decision here.
Wise words will not save him. Well,
If
we
I
will see.
think if I say I'm a feminist, but I rape women in an alley at knife point every night,
Thank you, no truce for the 22 New Zealand. Tell Wick I've been to the Shire. It's massively overrated. That's not nice. We don't insult people's culture here.
am I a feminist?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so
So,
then she's right.
It's
that
what
it's
I
about
do that
self-ID.
defines me.
Right. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the
Wait,
problem.
Can I
Sure.
oh, you don't want me to walk you through. Do you want me to walk you through it or not?
Oh, no, it's just, every time you start walking me through it, I remember something. So okay,
Stop.
just continue.
Well, just remember, but stop talking.
You did ask
I'll
him to
try.
walk you
I'll
through
try.
it.
I will try.
$5 in Somniwar. Burn the Shire.
So if I rape
Scour the Shire.
20
Scour
women
the Shire, don't burn the Shire.
at knife point once a month for 20 months, during those months, I also say that I'm a feminist. And I tweet out feminist slogans on Twitter. But all that happens as a result of my feminist slogans is I just get a bunch more followers and they donate money. They join my Patreon. They give me money. Am I a feminist?
The best kind.
No.
True.
Okay.
I mean,
I
he
agree.
looks like material
I do
conditions.
find-
Can I just walk you through?
Hang on.
Oh my fucking god! Shut
To your
up.
tell-
Shut
no,
up,
to-
Smith.
to
I
your
can't
po-
hear you over this one.
No,
What were you saying?
it was just a joke about how well now he'll have the material necessary to make material change. But fair, it's just a silly joke.
I mean, is he going to contend though, in all seriousness, that he's not doing what he's doing for money? Like the shock value of this, he's not making himself amenable to discussions. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Point.
Smith,
When me
stop
saying I
talking.
agree.
Stop
me
talking. I don't even want you
Shut
to
up
agree
1
with
second.
me.
Me saying
Stop
I agree
talking.
there, I had a
Stop
hesitation.
talking. Stop
I had a
talking.
hesitation to
Please-
say I agree,
please
and
stop
that's
talking. Please stop talking. Please let me finish.
I'm
Let me just
trying to
walk
give
through
you
this.
more tools.
I don't.
Wick, do you have to go, or do you want to? Do you want to give MrGirl more tools?
I only got a couple minutes, unfortunately. I don't want to
Okay.
go. It's just it's how
Just
things
tap.
work out.
Look.
so.
When you tap out, I'm free. So that works to my advantage. Thank you, @𝕬𝖎𝖏, for the 19. This is Wick Lost for the damn Europe song. What was the Europe song?
Oh, it's the final countdown. I'm assuming that's what he's saying.
Okay, you should keep on singing that until your super chats catch up. I think that would be a good.
You know what? I did have a channel redeem point to sing a song. I was holding off on it, but if you guys want a rendition, right before we go, I can sing something.
Very
Sweet
quickly,
Caroline.
𝕬𝖎𝖏, thanks for the $10. You know, squids are very intelligent animals. They can problem solve, recognize patterns, and BTFO Wick. Okay. To punish you for your insolence, Wick, why don't you sing our outro?
Okay. Let's see. What song do I want to sing? Oh
I'm gonna
my
lose so many subs. For
God, Becky, look at that butt. It's just so big, so huge, so round. I like big butts and I cannot lie. All you other brothers can't deny. When a girl walks in with a zibby waist and those round things in their face, you get sprung. Better pull up tough, cause you know the butt is stuffed deep in the jeans she's wearing. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Oh baby, I wanna get with ya and take your picture. My homeboys tried to warn me, but that butt you got makes me so horny. Ruffle smooth skin, you know you wanna get in this Benz. That's really all I got. I'd have to look into it now. But there you go, gang. There you go. We're ending on a high note, gang.
That was beautiful.
Boom.
Wick. You have the voice of an angel.
Oh man, now I'm being hate rated. Jordan Island with the squid emotes or whatever. Next
where's that
time,
dude?
next
Who's,
time, squids, I'll be back. Oh, y'all in bowling stuff with the more subs too. So thank you.
Let's see who's. I'm gonna try and rate out myself. Let's see who we got.
We could double raid. I think I remember how to do this. Hold on.
Let's. Who's streaming right now? Is Demon Mama streaming? No, that's Google. I don't want to search on Google. Nope.
Redirect, right?
Yeah. I can't think of any.
Yeah, give me a name. I don't know who streams on YouTube.
I
to
don't
be
know
honest with you.
either. Fuck. I got nothing.
Okay.
So I guess they're
Guess
lost.
we'll just end. Okay, gang. So just real quick, okay. Monday we'll be talking to Smeth. 6 p.m. Eastern. WhickTV. Either on YouTube or on Twitch, wherever you like to watch these things. And then yeah, next Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have Sansel on, and he is going to be arguing that the rhetoric around transgenocide has led to violence, and it will continue to do so. And so we're gonna have some people push back on him, and see how that works out. So tune on in. What you got coming up Sunday?
Well, tomorrow we are finally going over Ryan Chapman's comparison of Athenian and American democracy. That'll, judging by the fact that we took a solid hour and 15 minutes on the 13-minute perspective philosophy video on social contract theory, God only knows how long we'll be going through that for. I don't know what's happening. Are we same time next week, Wick?
Well,
we'll see.
Saturdays isn't usually good for me. Let's do Wednesdays.
Well, I think we agreed. We agreed
Wednesday.
This was.
Yeah.
This was an ad hoc thing, yeah.
True.
So I guess Wednesday there's that. I don't know what's happening, so stay tuned, I guess.
Either this Wednesday or next Wednesday, we'll do something. We'll maybe finish this, maybe do something else. I don't know yet.
Let's do something.
Yeah,
let's do something else.
Yeah, please. But for now, I bid thee all adieu. Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Have a good night, Wick. Ciao.
What you thinking? Did you like it? Was it fun? Did you enjoy this content? Thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for the support, both on YouTube and otherwise. I hope you guys can see me just fine. I hope there's no real delay. We will be raiding on Twitch into 𝕵𝖎𝖙. I don't think he's streaming on YouTube. But remember, when you get there, spam those emotes, gang. And tune in. It's pronounced Neeland. Oh, Jordan Neeland, your name. Okay, thank you. Well, I'll try to remember it. 10 out of 10. Appreciate it, gang. Okay. With that said, bye!